Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Start off with the biggest news of the week. The Rats lost! If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
And listen between two beers.
Getting down.
Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night, and it is 8 p.m. And y'all know what that means.
And we're both wearing glasses.
I know. Look at this, huh? Unbelievable. Look at this.
What does it actually mean? What does it actually mean?
Look at this. How does it feel to finally see after 20 years?
Listen, I
How's that
put
feel?
these. It's weird. I put these on Saturday afternoon before the Elimination Chamber.
And your brain has been broken since.
My brain has been broken since, and I'm pretty sure I saw John Cena turn heel, which maybe it's because I started wearing glasses. But
yeah, it could be.
Before we dive into all of that, tell them what it means. I cut you off.
Oh, yeah,
there.
it means that we are Between Two Beards, and we are here for another episode of Between Two Beards, episode 198. So not next week, but 2 weeks from tonight, PLUGGO. Episode 200. Who would have thought?
Maybe it's already 200 and we don't know how to count, but we're pretty positive it's 198. Little housekeeping up at the top. Adam Bernard of Screen Rant was going to join us today. If you saw those tweets, he's unfortunately sick. We will get him on hopefully sooner than later. Get well soon, buddy. You never know who might pop in.
Very much looking forward to getting him on at some point.
But yes, March 20th. We got Dustin's in the house. Scott's in the house. Dan's saying it's been 5 days since John Cena turned heel and he has to stop listening to Goodbye, My Lover by James Blunt.
Yes, listen. That is going. Listen, tonight we got a big one. Obviously, Adam.
Affiliate's putting this into the ether too. PLUGGO's glasses cause
maybe.
Turn.
Now, if you want to see,
I've not been.
Go ahead. No, you go. You finish.
I was going to say, so I ordered these. We talked about it when I had the eye exam, and then I finally got the glasses in.
Yes.
It was like I fell asleep before Elimination Chamber because I knew it was going to be a long night. So I woke up, put them on, enjoyed Chamber. It was weird. Everything is kind of it's crazy. It's just like night
everything
and day.
is clear.
So technically speaking, what the first thing I did, and we'll bring Warren on for this because Warren is in the backstage, and Mrs. PLUGGO is super excited that Warren's here. So it was supposed to shrink with the graphic.
But it didn't shrink.
Yeah, so we'll have to. There's
how do you shrink it?
Universal mode or something. But either way, while you figure that out,
you do your.
So I put these glasses on. The first thing I do is I look at Mrs. PLUGGO and I say, "Thank God you're good looking." She looks at me like, what? I go, this is technically the first time I've actually seen you in all of your glory. It would have been really awkward if you looked as bad as I do, because the whole thing is that I've outkicked my coverage and that I'm, because anyway. But Warren, Mrs. Pluggo says hi.
Oh, hello. Say hi to your wife for me.
You should have seen it. She goes, so who's coming on? We could do that.
I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. It's fine. This one kind of works. This one kind of works.
Goes, so who's,
although we have to do this.
Who's coming on? Yeah, we have to put Warren in the middle. Yeah, there you go.
He has to be between the two.
True, that's the gimmick, right?
That is the gimmick, man.
So I said, unfortunately, the guest that we had planned had to back out. But Warren's coming on, and this is literally what she did. She goes, "Oh, Warren, yeah, I love him."
Oh,
and
she's so sweet.
Well, I'm on the show too, and I go, "Well, I'm on the show too," and she was like,
"She don't care about you."
Yeah, I love you.
And she says, "Yeah, but your glasses."
Yeah, the new glasses, the new spectacles.
She likes them. She likes the other pair that I wear more than these, but these have the blue light blockers for the podcast.
But that's a good idea though.
That is a good
so
idea.
Do we are we going to bury the person who ditched you last minute? Are we going to bury them? Do we take 5 minutes to bury them?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
Oh, come on.
We could have, but no, they were under the
Cena.
we're not turning heel.
They're under the weather.
They're under the weather.
We don't just health is number one. And
listen,
you're not, but
fine.
But we are going to talk about
the mental
Speaking
health.
of burying, Elimination Chamber 2025
Welcome back, buddy. It's been a long time since
it has been a while. How you doing, boys?
Yeah, it's good. We've been trying to get you on for a little bit, and then I was like, you know what? I know he usually streams on Thursdays, but I said I'm going to shoot the shot with Warren, see if he's available tonight, because I would like to chop it up, because we're going to talk, obviously, John Cena and Elimination Chamber, but we're also going to talk Revolution. And I was like, let's get Warren on to get his opinion about it all with us, because obviously
this is actually the perfect week to have you on, all things considered, because of how you feel about the WWE. And
currently,
we were probably much higher on the Elimination Chamber than you were.
Probably still. Probably still.
We probably were higher on the John Cena the heel turn than you are.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be honest. I have not listened to the Elimination Chamber review that you have out, Warren. So I'm coming in fresh to your opinions.
Usually do your research is what you're telling me.
No, well, I do. I always listen to your stuff. But once I was like, I'm not gonna, and then we're having you on, so I want fresh opinions. My guess would be you did not enjoy Elimination Chamber as a whole, but I think you might have enjoyed the scene.
Look at this.
We'll see.
I heard Warren's name through the floor. Had to hop on. Hi, Mrs. Pluggo.
Everybody loves Warren.
Hello, Mrs. Pluggo.
Everybody loves Warren. Everybody.
No, no, that's not true.
Yeah. So
my creditors don't like me.
Yeah, obviously there are a few exceptions, but if you want to get your comment shown on the screen, your question shown on the screen, send us a super chat. Those are always appreciative. They help us out here at Love Wrestling. They help keep the staff and keep everything rolling the way that we do things. So if you want your comment, your question, you want us to talk about a certain topic, it will definitely get shown on screen if you send a super chat, as long as you are adult.
I'm going to say Mrs. Pluggo gets her comments on the screen because she super chats me.
I mean, that's a given.
Yes.
That's a given. So,
her super chat is marrying Pluggo.
Yes, her super chat is putting up with Pluggo all the time. So that is her donation
all
to
the
society.
time, because we literally shoot work together and live together. So yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of Pluggo. That's a lot of Pluggo.
Are we losing Pluggo right now? Pluggo turned into a robot. He's really slow, and
he's suddenly
He's suddenly become very slow and robotic.
Poor lady.
Yeah, Pluggo, I think you're in a different stratosphere. Oh, there he goes.
He's like trying like when we used to try to play Crisis on a 386 machine back in the day.
That's what it looked like. Well, it looked like it booted him out, so it looks like he's gonna probably be popping in at some point. So,
let's kill a little time. But to have him back, because I always appreciate it. I love you guys, and you know, one of the things that always sticks in the back of my head is like, I don't have the guys on enough on my show, and I've been, because I want to have you guys on for something that is not mundane. Okay. And we're gonna, I'm dropping this live here without even having spoken to either of you about it.
I love it. Let's do it.
But I that's okay. I have an idea to bring you two guys on, and we're gonna have a contest to determine who has the best beard. Between the two of you, I'm gonna run you through a gauntlet. I call it the cage match gauntlet.
Okay.
Where I'm going to I'm going to name two pro wrestlers that you know of course, and you're gonna have to tell me who has the highest rating on cage match between the two.
All right.
And which one of and the one of you two who gets the most points will be absolutely
the king of the beards.
Beard.
All right.
The king of the beards.
I'd be down for that. I'm always down for some competition. I'm always down for some
I missed the beginning of that.
That's
when you said the best beard between the two of you, JPJ wins hands down. But if we're talking trivia,
but if I lose this competition, then that is not true. That is not true.
It will no longer be applicable.
It will not. It will not. If I lose the competition, whether I visually have the best beard or not, which I clearly do, it won't matter. You will be the king of the beards. Exactly. And I will forever be envious. And then I'm going to throw you through a barbershop window. And then that's what we're going to do. And that's how this is going to go. That's what
we're having Travis Scott beat the shit out of you.
Break your friggin' eardrum. Break your friggin' eardrum, apparently.
But we'll work out the mechanics of it. But I'm not going to speak for PLUGGO, but we will 1000% go on your show whenever we can make that work. That would be fun. That would be fun.
I'm not going to speak for PLUGGO, but he's in. Yeah,
but he's in. I'm telling him he's in right now.
Full pitch.
He just wants us to go on his show, and he wants us to have the competition.
But it could have
been, have you guys on and not do something mundane.
Yeah. And then Dan Brown, just
like this show,
speaking truths, just speaking truths. I'll take it. But
wait, he said IWC community, so it's the Internet Wrestling Community.
Yes, double it up. You double it up. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna just get into it.
We need you to throw your beard out.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk some AEW Revolution, but we will save that to after. I mean, obviously, the big wrestling news of the week: Elimination Chamber was on Saturday in Toronto, up in the Canada. And obviously,
terrible country. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah,
terrible country.
That's what we're hearing. We're hearing. I disagree.
Can we start there real quick? Like
about what?
Okay, like I know McAfee. Oh, we have a super.
Oh, here we go. We got our first super chat by Mrs. PLUGGO. She's saying she has the best beard. So Warren, it might have to be a three-way, a triple threat match.
Me.
Might have to be. Yeah, sorry, I changed that immediately. I got on top of that quickly. But there you go.
Super chat. Who you think has the best beard in wrestling?
Yeah, just send the super chats in. We have three. There are 3 beards on the screen right now. So who has the best?
As to start off with the Elimination Chamber, I think we have to start with that, right? Like, I completely understand 100% why the Canadian people booed the American national anthem, right? I completely get it. But that's something that we do not hear often on down below that 49th parallel. So it was a little shocking. But then, of course, McAfee brought it up like 17 times.
He wasn't the only one. Michael Cole said something as well. I think
so much so that he had to apologize for being such an asshole.
Apologize.
It wasn't a real. It wasn't a
real.
Yeah,
no, I know. You can't see my air quotes because of the way we've got the setup.
I know. If you can figure out how to get us into the normal boxes, please do. But I think this works for now. I think
this is fine.
Yeah, I think this is fine. I did notice that
we can go like this and like.
Listen, being an American, we have a country full of, and this is I'm trying to say as base as I can, as we have proven over the last decade, on more than one occasion. We are a country full of uninformed idiots. So I'll go there. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Turn off the. I don't care. Go somewhere else. I don't care. And that's what it is. And that's what I took into account when I heard McAfee caring as much as he did. Like, as an American, do I want to see the national anthem get booed? No. I get it. It makes you feel a certain way, whether you're pro what's going on or not, which I am not. Yeah, I don't want to see the national anthem get booed, but at the same time, they weren't booing me personally, which for some reason, and I've never been this way. Like, yeah, I'm not thrilled about what's going on currently, but like, I'm proud to be an American, but it's not my personality that you know what I mean? Like, sure. And that's just how I view it. Like, would I have rathered them not boo it?
JPJ is a cult of personality.
I would have rathered them not boo it, but I understand why they booed it. So, and again, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit that they booed it or not. Like, I just don't care.
He did, though.
Of course he did.
Every time.
He wasn't the only one either. Like, Michael Cole even said a thing or two. I personally think they had Logan Paul carry the American flag because of that.
Yeah.
I
think that was planned.
You think that was planned anyway? Like, I wouldn't have been shocked. I wouldn't have been shocked if they kind of were like, yeah, do that. Go do that.
H was back there like, where's Hacksaw Jim Duggan? We need that flag.
We need to get somebody out there, man.
Hacksaw back here, Logan.
You got to get somebody out there, man.
But that means they're carrying like spare American flags in the production trucks everywhere they go. You know, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah. I just thought it just meant that they carry a spare Hacksaw Jim Duggan wherever they go.
I mean, if you've been watching wrestling since forever, like the Canadians boo the Americans. That's how it works. That's how it works.
We cheer more for the Canadians, which is normal.
Yeah.
This is what got me more than the whole patriotic thing that he was wrapping himself into. Here's what got me. It's, you know, you bring your event to Toronto, biggest metropolitan area in the entire country. You want to make oodles of money off of our backs. You're asking for a site fee. They unquestionably got a site fee for it. So you're making tons and tons of money off of our back, off of the people going there, off of the taxpayers of Toronto. And then you have and then like even Triple H at the end, right, says biggest gate in the history of Canada. Like, you're touting how much money you make off of us, but then you have the audacity to say you're a terrible country. And I'm like, you can't have it both ways, pal. You can't be coming in here and, you know, bringing your great spectacle. It's like, it's very arrogant. We don't, you know, if you don't come here, it's not a big deal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. We're not like eternally grateful that WWE graced us with its presence on our unworthy soil. You know, it's like, it's fine. And ultimately, that's what I found was, you know, irritating. Other than the fact that Pat McAfee's a complete meathead, I don't really care. He did go hard, and it was really annoying. And his apology was even worse, if you ask me, because his thing was like, you guys booed my national anthem, and I'm very patriotic and all of that, and I don't know what Justin Trudeau is doing. I don't know what he's doing. Why do so I don't come in knowing what Justin Trudeau, and I'm like, brother, of course you don't, because Justin Trudeau is not slapping tariffs on my country and threatening to annex it into the 51st state. So of course you don't know what Justin Trudeau is up to. Like, so he's just a big old meathead saying meathead shit, and it rubbed people the wrong way, and it is what it is. It's just like, ultimately, it's the arrogance of thank you for take all the money and fuck you, you're a horrible country. It's like, oh, okay, that's coming from that's from a position of people who do not suffer any consequences for their actions, so then they can get away with saying just about anything. That's the plain simple truth about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why he went as hard as he did, but it is what it is. And then I even think, on Monday, him kind of being like,
I can imagine somebody told him probably like,
well, yeah, I assume. But then on Monday, even on Raw, he's like,
because they don't really do that anymore.
No.
He did
and listen,
things on Raw too. You're
like, they're about to go on a European tour, right? I don't know if they sing the national anthems on the house shows and whatnot, but let me tell you, he better get used to getting the American national anthem getting booed, because I can tell you one thing, in Europe and whatnot, they're not going to care for it much either.
No. And it's just one of those things where I assume he was spoken to, but even on Monday, I thought he was not great when he was just like, yeah, I apologize for being a proud American.
Yeah.
And like he's saying, I'm just like, brother, just shut the hell up. You're a punter. So anyway, I almost feel like he forget, like, don't get me wrong, very successful. Look, I'm not going to judge him as a business person. He has clearly made a very big name for himself post NFL career, and he's successful and he's doing things he wants to do. He's got a syndicated radio show. He's clearly a smart businessman, but you were a punter. You were barely a football player. Shut up. But anyway, I digress. A friggin' punter.
What was the show? It was at Royal Rumble, right? That they were showing footage of him, of old plays of him, right? Yeah. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? What is this?
Exactly. You're a punter.
Why am I doing that?
I will say that McAfee's highlight reel for a punter.
Listen, for punters,
for
punters, it is one of the best highlight reels of all time.
I'll take your word for it.
In the scheme of NFL, he's a punter.
Sure. Listen, it's better than Scott Norwood's, that's for sure.
Yes, I'm sure. But all right. Saturday night, Elimination Chamber. Obviously, the main headline coming out of this show is at the end of the show, John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber by defeating CM Punk. You kind of knew it would be them two as the final two. It made all the sense. He wins, and then we have Cody Rhodes make his way to the ring. They do the handshake. They look at the sign. John Cena's like, I'm going to give you a hell of a fight at WrestleMania. They're doing their thing. And then we see The Rock, the final boss, makes his way to the ring with Travis Scott. Cool. I didn't
all business, by the way. It didn't take 45 minutes for him to get down to the ring like usual. He strutted his ass down there real quick.
Yeah. For the record, I don't give a shit that Travis Scott maybe hurt Cody Rhodes. I give a shit about that. I don't care. Like, there were some people that were like, I don't care that Travis Scott, to me, I don't care that he was in the ring at the time. Like, it's whatever. I don't care one way or the other. Besides the fact that he might have broken Cody Rhodes. That's not good. That's not good. But they come down. They're in the ring. Cena's in the ring. The Rock, he says, hey, I'm here to hear your answer, Cody. I'm here to hear you accept my stuff. Be my brother. Be my champion. And Cody says, I can't give you my soul because my soul doesn't belong to me anymore because I gave it away for this title and for these people a long time ago. And then he steps up and he just goes, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. And everyone's blacking out, including me, because I'm a child still. But he said the F word.
Full stop.
Unedited.
Pause.
Yes.
What did we think about that? Because not only did he say it unedited on the program,
he leaned in on
socials.
He gave the growly voice behind it, he stepped forward and shrugged his shoulder, he got into it.
How did we feel about the F word?
Hey, listen,
clean
whatever.
Cut, baby face.
Here's my thing. Everybody was talking about how they were going to get more adult and more adult language when they're on Netflix, and they've sworn on everything they've been on except Netflix. At least for Americans. I know it's everywhere for our Canadian friends and around the world. They have sworn on every show they have except Monday Night Raw, which is on Netflix for Americans. So they've cursed on every. But listen, I am inherently a child, especially when it comes to humor. I loved it because I was like, oh, sure, all right, an unedited F-bomb. Here we are. We're adults now. We're all official adults. They're just dropping F-bombs on the show, and then. Obviously, what happened afterwards, people just completely forgot about because that was the first unedited F-bomb in my whole wrestling WWF life. Which is, I'm 40 this year, man. I'm not young. I'm not old, but I'm 40. What'd you think of the F-bomb, Warren?
It was very apropos.
Yeah,
if you ask me.
It was.
If you're going to use it, it was in this moment here.
It was,
which worked really, really well. Yeah. No, I have no issues with it. We got it uncensored on Netflix. It was tremendous.
It was.
And Cody, it felt very cathartic for Cody at the same time. Biting down. Because you can do fuck you. But when you really feel it, when you really want to tell someone how you really feel, you'll bite down on your bottom lip and you'll let the air hiss through it, right?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. And he did.
That's how it felt for Cody.
I loved it. He like I said, he stepped
You know
forward,
what it was?
He shrugged his shoulder. It was like
he got his poise on. Yeah.
He did. He was like, I'm doing it.
It was like the one F-bomb. It's like the one F-bomb they give in PG-13 movies where you're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, 100%.
You only get one in
100%.
the States. For
Sunday Center in the chat
movies.
says that.
And that was the one, and it was perfectly placed.
Yeah.
And then
Sunday
by
Center
the way,
says that F-bomb came from the very soul The Rock tried to take. That's what he said. But that's a good comment. But
yeah. But he did. But then when Cody says that, John Cena is jumping around the ring.
That's when you knew.
Lottery.
That's when you knew.
So you're like, you're way too excited about that F-bomb.
That's how I knew. Like Cena was being corny. Cena,
like he knew
the whole time Cody was talking. Like when he was talking about, I already gave my soul. Like Cena was being normal, corny. Cena. So I was kind of like, oh, all right, what's going to happen? Once Cody dropped the F-bomb, John Cena's running around the ring. He's jumping up and down. And I was like, that's a little even over the board for John Cena. And I was like, let's keep an eye on that.
He was like, oh, it's my time. Cody's time is up. My time is now.
Yep. And so then The Rock's obviously pissed off. And then Cody is like kind of looking at Cena. He's looking at The Rock and he looks forward to Cena. And Cena goes in smiling, gives him the bro hug. And when he leans in, The Rock kind of shakes his head up and down. We see the visual of Cena's face just turn emotionless. And The Rock gives his cut the throat. And John Cena kind of is smart. He pulls away. He's still smiling. And he kicks Cody right in the man spot. The penis. He kicked him down there.
Oh! I thought you meant.
And then he proceeded to
the man spot.
Yeah, he proceeded to punch Cody with the Rolex, and then he hit him with the belt a few times. Choked him with the tie. I wonder if he's going to get fired for that. That seems to be a fireable cause in WWE. He choked him with the tie. Cody was bleeding, and John Cena has in fact sold his soul to the final boss. And after 20 plus years, finally, he's turned heel. And that's how the show ended. We're not going to see John. I don't think he's back on WWE television for another week and a half or so. I think when they go to Europe is when he's officially back. So we're not going to hear from him for a little bit longer, which I think we're all kind of waiting to hear from him about this. But obviously and Warren, you're kind of a perfect guy to talk to as well, because you were very much watching wrestling at the time that Hogan turned heel years and years and years ago. I don't want to compare because I don't think they're.
Wow, way to age Warren like that.
No, I was watching live too. I was watching live too when it happened. So we were all of age. We should all remember that. What did you think about it? Well, I want your opinion. Like what? Listen, this is a seismic thing. John Cena turning heel. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. It was talked about on ESPN and national syndicates and
well, of course, he's John Cena's a big movie star, like on top of the even above the pro wrestling nonsense, right? He's a big movie star. So this kind of stuff is significant, and it's in all these outlets understood it. No, it's a huge thing. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah, see,
I thought it was great. I loved the beatdown. I loved it so much. It was the most non-WWE thing that WWE has put on in years. Like you said it yourself, choking him out with a tie.
Yeah.
Like they bounced Brian Danielson years ago when he did that.
Yeah.
Look, I thought this was phenomenal stuff, like legitimately phenomenal stuff. I know people were talking about it. Few people were. Didn't you call it, JPJ? Wasn't that your prediction that was going to happen? Good for you, man.
I didn't know that they were going to do it right at the chamber like that. I thought Cena could be the guy that did it because he wants to break the record and be the champ. And I thought it maybe would happen at WrestleMania.
Right. Okay.
But I didn't know but I'm glad they did it the way they did right away. Did not even wait. Like just Cody says no, immediate backup plan. Let's go. John Cena's
because there had to be something big because they were finishing the show with this. And I was expecting Roman, to be completely honest.
I was going to be super awkward in like 8 months when we're all like, we're going to miss you, John. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because if if I do think about this a little more objectively, it's very strange that they decide to do this on the year that he's retiring, when it's supposed to be these feel-good moments, and he's supposed to come out, and then flash his merch, and then all the kids want mom and dad to buy the merch at the merch table, and now it's like, what are you gonna do? And it's very strange. Like between us, okay. Let's say we close out the angle and then maybe move on to, because again, I can't emphasize enough how tremendous it was, how the execution was. The violence of it. Like this was not pretend, NXT fake weapons bullshit. This was real deal. We're whooping you with a weight belt. You are bleeding all over the place. And John Cena is doing something completely uncharacteristic, which already creates a sense of unease where you're like, this is not supposed to be happening, kind of thing. It's like, it's like walking into grandma and grandpa having sex. It's like, this shit doesn't happen, So it's like, pardon? So so when you get to the essence of it, the whole angle is just absolutely phenomenal stuff. Like it was tremendous. I think it's up there with some of the greatest angles of all heel turns of all time. I don't think it's the greatest, but I think it's absolutely up there in shock shock, yes, but mostly execution. I cannot put it over enough. Even though fucking Travis Scott almost ruined the WrestleMania main event.
He really did.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, baby.
Anyway,
first of all, if you remember, while Cody's laying there, what was Travis doing at first?
He was saging himself. Well, he was saging himself in the corner before.
And then all of a sudden just cracks him in the eardrum. Like
no one told him this is a shoot, brother.
Super weird.
Yeah.
No one taught him a working punch. Jesus Christ.
They showed a video on Raw of like him in the back with Triple, and you could tell that like he had Travis Scott was like, yo, that was incredible. I think he said he goes, that was like a completely different vibe. Like that was even more adrenaline than performing, he said.
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't it great to be able to punch the shit out of someone who's not defending themselves?
And I was
great.
Like, oh. And then Triple H was like, and he looked at Triple H and he was like, was that good? And Triple H was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, all right, that's cool for the camera. The second that camera went off, Triple H would have been like, hey, buddy.
We're gonna have to train you,
man. Jesus Christ.
But as far as the angle itself go, like the ramifications, right? It's like between all of us here,
let's go.
Oh
well, it's okay. His Wi-Fi is struggling tonight. It feels like.
Apparently,
yeah.
We are not. I don't think this is going to go further than WrestleMania. This heel turn thing. I can't see John Cena's last year as a heel. Like it doesn't make sense, right? It just because people want to say goodbye.
Yes, they do.
To say goodbye to him.
Yeah,
and they don't want to say goodbye to an asshole. They want to say goodbye to their hero, to the hero, to the guy who has been the actual hero of this company for so many years.
Yeah,
they don't want this. I understand where you're doing it. It's spicing up WrestleMania. I'm interested. Like this really got me going. With The Rock, disrupting. Like all of this is great. I'm enjoying this build to the gills. It's been so much fun. But after that, like I 100, not 100%, but this is how I feel. They have the match at WrestleMania, and I think Cody retains. But The Rock is ringside, and he's trying to get John to do some nasty shit, And at some point, John is like, no, like he's having crisis of conscience, and then the audience gets involved and says, no, John, don't do it, and The Rock keeps egging him on and trying to, and eventually both guys turn on The Rock and they beat up The Rock, and then they have the rest of the match without The Rock, and then Cena wins, defeats Cody for the title, but did it the right way, kind of thing.
Okay, that's fair. My thing was,
and then he can do the hero thing for the rest of the year.
So I agree with that. Is the question to me is how long do they keep this going? Because I agree with what you said, Warren. I know Pluggo feels the same. Like, this was perfectly done. This was executed to perfect about the Cena heel turn. Like, obviously we're still shocked about it, but it was beautiful. Are you all right over there? Your Wi-Fi struggling this evening.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So my question is, how long does it go? But I
don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
There's a delay.
There is a delay. There's a major delay. I
might have to swap some stuff out here.
Tell the kids to stop playing Fortnite.
Yeah. Go upstairs, yell at the kids to turn off their video games. Do what you got to do.
That's
come back.
Probably what they're doing.
Me and Warren can hold the fort if you got to do some stuff. We'll be okay. There we go.
There you go.
So you just said that you think Cody retains, and I kind of like the story that you played out of how it could go.
No, actually, it's I messed it up. Cody doesn't retain. Cody absolutely loses, but to a returning babyface John Cena who reemerges.
Yeah,
in the WrestleMania match.
That's fair. Because my thing was, I feel like if Cena doesn't win the match at Mania, then the heel turn. What did you really do? You know what I mean? I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm at, because I'm like, Cena's going to win and break the record right at Mania. And then they quickly, whether it is at Mania, like you just laid out, or shortly afterwards, something happens. Because I do feel like by the time we get to the middle to the second half of the year, I do agree with you. The fans are not going to want to, as cool as this is and as awesome and exciting and shocking as it was, I don't think the fans want to boo John Cena all year in his last year. I just don't think that they want to.
Like I'm doing I know you guys don't necessarily follow New Japan, but like it's the same thing in New Japan right now. Hiroshi Tanahashi is having his final year in New Japan this year, and like he is the New Japan John Cena, by the way. For those of you who don't exactly know, like he's exactly, think about John Cena. That's exactly what Hiroshi Tanahashi is. From the fans' perspective and from the business perspective as well. Okay. And he's not turning heel. At least it hasn't happened, but I don't think they will, because people like every time he goes to a venue, it's like, well, not every time, but he has had a couple where it's like, this is the last time I'm coming to this event. He's going to go to Chicago for Windy City Riot in a couple of months. And it's been advertised as Hiroshi Tanahashi's last match in the US. Well, he's gonna. You want to see the good guy. You want to see Hiroshi Tanahashi, the guy who's gonna slap hand with the fans and sweat in their towels and give them back, and that's what you want. Yeah, you don't want 100%. The opposite. That's a little weird. That's why it's a little weird. The Cena stuff. I think it's a quick fix for WrestleMania, because I don't know what you guys thought before getting here, but the build to Mania was a little mid up until that point. I don't know what you think, but I thought I wasn't hearing any buzz. Nothing was really getting people excited. After the Jey Uso stuff was out of the way, it's like, oh, it's Gunther. Oh, okay. It's like, so, there's it didn't feel exciting. Now it does. Now it feels like WrestleMania. Now it feels like the chaos and the nonsense and the absolute weirdness that is supposed to be a WrestleMania build.
Yeah, I agree. And they really, in like a 2-week span, they really upstarted
internet.
All right, listen, we'll get through it, bro. We're gonna get through it. We'll be all right. Yeah, it feels like in the last 2.5 weeks, they really
That's what I missed.
They really amplified the WrestleMania build, especially with this, because now this adds just so much more intrigue to the John Cena Cody thing. Clearly, because it was just going to be what? Good guy John Cena going against good guy Cody, kind of. Okay, yeah, we get it. Like passing the torch, or the old man with this one last shot, and and then it turned into,
which is unbelievable, right? If he beats Cody as good guy John, we all go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But now we're like, "Oh, it's the deck stacked against Cody in a crazy way, and it's Super Cena." So okay,
yeah,
great.
That's what I think.
Do you guys?
Yeah,
sure.
Well, Make-A-Wish headquarters is pissed.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I don't know if you saw the rumors that this was actually Plan B, because Plan A was supposed to be Cody turning heel, but
that's what. At the time when we were talking about it last week, going into the Chamber, I was like, look, it's either going to be Cody, Cena, or Punk. Those are the only three guys to me that were legitimate options of who could be the guy that sold this. I think it made sense with any of those three guys. But Cena was probably the guy I would have voted the least to be the one to do it. And it was probably
CM Punk. We would have believed it in a second.
100%. 100%. And even the Cody, like the old school good guy, says no. But then at WrestleMania,
being the guy,
I would have been down with Punk. I look at, and like I said, I'm down with.
But that promo he cut on Raw was pretty good. So I'm okay.
Yeah, that was the CM Punk I've been waiting for. None of this. I'm happy to be here. Bullshit. Thank you, CM Punk, for being angry on Monday for the first time and what feels like actually angry. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Cody. I thought that they would drag this out to Mania. I knew he was going to say no on Saturday. And then I thought that they were going to drag this out to Mania, and I could have seen Cody turning heel to keep the belt at Mania, or even losing to John and then turning heel afterwards. And now he has The Rock at his back to get it back from, like, that's how I thought it was going to go.
Crazy, right? The guy didn't want to turn heel in AEW, doesn't want to turn heel in WWE either. He's putting his foot down.
Yeah, and another thing that this tells me is, like, obviously they want to do to Cody, but they wouldn't have done this if they also don't think, like, they know that Cody is the next John's, like, he's the current and future big time face of the company for a while here. And I think that's why they also felt comfortable going to Plan B and having Plan B be John. Like, I know John only has a year left, but he's still, like you said, he was still Mr. WWE. He shows up and he's immediately Mr. WWE, right? Yeah. So I do feel like this also shows that the company knows that they have the next guy currently with Cody, and they're comfortable turning John this way, even if it is for a small amount of time, because Cody is that guy. But
how small a time do you think it is, though?
Well, when you were kind of out fixing your stuff,
I didn't get to hear that part. Yeah.
Yeah. Warren said that he feels like it could even happen during the match at Mania. Like, Cena has some, like, revelations during the match, and like kind of by the time
style, like when he was in the NWO with Rock, where he kind of, like,
I'm very interested to see how the crowd does react
at the end where they shook hands and stuff.
Listen, if John Cena starts showing signs that he's going to be the hero again, the crowd is going to eat that shit up.
Yeah,
they're just going to gobble it up.
Yeah. So I'm very intrigued to see how. Obviously, the crowd will boo because it was a shocking thing. But
speak of that moment again.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how the crowd is responding to this match when it happens. Is the crowd going to be really all pro Cody? Are we going to have the guy? They're going to have this segment of people that have been waiting for this for 10 years, and now they're like, hell yeah, we want John to win. He's a bad guy. So I'm very intrigued to see.
Wouldn't it be crazy?
Let's go, Cody. Cena sucks. Like, it's going to be. Yeah. So I'm very.
They just don't into it all. They're like, we don't want this.
I don't know. I think the crowd. I think
it would only happen. You know what? It would only happen in a terrible country like Canada.
All right. Well, let's dive into obviously the stuff that happened on this show besides the big thing at the end with John Cena, because the show started with the women's Elimination Chamber, and we had a big thing happen right at the beginning of this match. It was Liv and Naomi were the starting two, and we heard Jade Cargill's music. Somehow she looked better than ever. I didn't know that would be possible with someone that looks like Jade Cargill, but she looked stronger, more badass, better than ever. She comes out, and I thought everybody played their role to perfection here. I thought Liv looked scared shitless. I thought Naomi looked confused and puzzled. She was staring at Bianca in the pod. Bianca looked confused. And then Jade gets in the ring. Everyone thinks she's going to beat the crap out of Liv, and she beats the brakes off of Naomi. Bianca Belair putting on her best Academy Award-winning performance in the pod. She's crying, screaming, beaten down the pod. She's watching her best friend get assaulted by her other best friend. Jade slams the door on Naomi's neck. It was very violent. She leaves. Naomi gets immediately removed from the match. So this turns into a 5-woman elimination chamber match. Yeah. And then at the end,
can we talk about how Jade went full gear just to beat Naomi's ass and then just leave?
That's it. Didn't even look at Bianca. No camera angle with them having a stare. Didn't even glance at Bianca.
It's because she knows Bianca. She knows Bianca did it.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
She couldn't get to Bianca. She got to Naomi.
No, Bianca's locked in a pod. I mean, you got to pick your battles, right? So that happens, and then we proceed to have what I thought was a pretty good women's chamber match. I liked it, and we see Bianca Belair be the victor here as she defeats Liv Morgan, who went from start to finish in a losing matter, but start to finish, Liv was in there the whole time. I thought this was a pretty solid to pretty good chamber match. I thought it was one of the better women's chamber matches we've seen. I thought everyone did good in their role. I thought Roxanne Perez looked really good in her role in that, kind of being her first big time non-Royal Rumble main roster. I thought Bayley was kind of the veteran, even though there were like the veteran glue of the match. Bianca looked incredible. Liv Morgan, an MVP of the match, going start to finish, kind of just being in there the whole time. I love the Liv Morgan Bianca stuff before Bianca was in there, with Liv yelling at Bianca and hitting the pod and saying, "This is your fault. This is your fault. You did this." I thought that was cool. I thought it was good. And obviously there's a lot of story coming out of this because, Pluggo, you leaned in on it. Bianca. So obviously with what happens at the beginning of the match, Warren, it would make you think that Jade thinks that or knows that Naomi did it. And she beat the crap out of Naomi because Naomi was the one that attacked Jade Cargill. That's what logic would make you think, seeing what we saw. But do we think that it is as easy and simple as that? Or do we think that maybe Miss Bianca Belair could be the mastermind or even the one behind the attack on Jade? Or do we all just think it's Naomi now because of what happened?
I thought she attacked Naomi because Naomi took her spot as a tag team champion and she's pissed at it. Like, I thought that's what you mean. Wait a sec. Are you turning Bianca Belair heel? Why the fuck would you do that? One of the most natural
John
baby
Cena
faces
can do it. Anybody can do it.
Why would you do that? She's one of the most natural, likable people in this fucking company.
I don't think you're wrong.
You do that?
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all. But a part of me,
and I'm not. Is this like something people are talking about?
Yeah. Look,
why?
I think, that guy 64 says, "Does Warren have a fake beard lying around somewhere?" Warren's got a beard
because Jade Cargill got attacked.
Yeah. No.
Go ahead, Paul. Yeah.
She got attacked. She got beat up on a car. Mm-hmm. Bianca was quote unquote in the match when it happened. Poor Naomi's always the scapegoat here. No, I don't know.
And then you have Bianca. Well, no, but then listen.
Quite the interesting move if they were like, it was Bianca all along.
But Bianca, right? Think about what happened in this match. This happens. Bianca doesn't have to deal with Naomi. That gets taken care of, not with her. That gets taken care of. That dirty work is gone for her. Bianca now only has to defeat 4 other women instead of 5. All of a sudden on Monday Night Raw, they have an interview backstage with Bianca where they ask her about Naomi and Jade, and she just goes, out of respect to them, I don't want to talk about it. What? Huh? That's not like Bianca Belair. That's not like her character to do so. She's out there.
And if we go back in the annals of history, Bianca goes, Jade has not texted me back. Why would Jade not text you back, Bianca? Because you had something to do with it. That is the history of wrestling in a nutshell.
Hang on a second. Wait a second.
Because they're men.
Bianca Belair, heel, and Jade Cargill, babyface?
Not necessarily. But
right now,
yeah, I mean,
but okay, so yes, even John Cena can turn heel, but at some point, use your wrestlers' strengths, use them to their strengths. There is no one in this company right now, likable babyface Bianca is such a natural for the role, and Jade is just she's designed to be a heel. Oh my Lord. I can't believe this is something they're considering.
A lot of people think that Bianca is going to end up being the mastermind behind the whole Jade thing.
That's okay.
Look, I'm not saying I'm not one of them. I think the seeds have been planted where they could do it. And I think,
overthinking. See, this is when you start overthinking pro wrestling.
You're probably right.
This is when you start overthinking pro wrestling. When I say you, I don't mean you guys, and I don't mean fans. I'm talking about WWE. If this is the plan, it's man, use your people to their strengths. Use them to your strengths. And Jade needs all the help she can get to get herself over. It's she can look strong all she wants, but we tried for a couple of years pushing her as a monster in the other company, and it didn't quite work out. Then they bring her in, and it's been an uneven ground as well. Don't try to make her do things that she's not comfortable in. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, I don't know. I get especially after what we saw on Monday. I think what we saw on Monday with Bianca not talking about it, and then the whole stuff with her and Rhea in the main event, and we could talk about that too, because Bianca wins the chamber, so she's going to Mania. It feels like we're hot-shotting to Rhea versus Bianca. In my opinion, the biggest one-on-one match they have in that company is Bianca and Rhea that we haven't seen properly. And to me, that's a WrestleMania night, any night main event. And then we think we're getting it. And then all of a sudden on Monday Night Raw to end the show, we have another complete shock, I think, to almost everybody. Not because, look at Io Sky rules. I'm not upset about Io Sky being the world champion at all. But Io Sky beats Rhea Ripley out of kind of nowhere and is now the WWE Women's World Champion. So now we're the next night after Chamber, instead of Bianca and Rhea, which we all thought we were getting, as of right now, it's Bianca and Io. A lot of people think Rhea will get inserted and will be a triple threat by the time we get to Mania, which, okay. I think that, I would rather it be one-on-one, but
I'm a one-on-one guy for championships. So
that's fair. That's fair. So me. I'm kind of again, when we talk about the Bianca stuff, I'm does Bianca win the belt at Mania and then she becomes a heel because of whatever, and then we're building towards we have a longer build, not for a year, but we eventually get to Rhea versus Bianca one-on-one next year in one of the main events of WrestleMania. Is that kind of where we're going here? And I think if we do that, I think that WWE will have Bianca be the heel in that scenario. And I feel like that is adding on to I think Bianca's going to end up being the person that was behind this kind of thing.
Well, good luck to them.
But I do think you're right. When you talk about natural babyface, I think Bianca has it in space. She has it in space. She has everything you would ever want. The crowd is behind her. They love her. She fits the part.
They do nothing with her and they still cheer for her. They're still excited for it. She does feats of strength and they're up on their feet. Everyone fucking loves Bianca Belair. Oh no, she's going to be a heel now because we don't know what to do with her. Oh my God.
Yeah. Pluggo, what do you think? Do you think it was Naomi? Or do you think Bianca is the one? Oh.
Well,
here he comes. He's on his way.
I think it is Naomi, right? What?
That's what they would make you want to believe. Nothing. That's
what they want us to believe, right?
Yes.
But I think they're just messing with us with Bianca. the whole stuff with the teases of like being not talking and stuff. It's Triple H going like, well, it could be her. Look what we've done over here. Look at all this shock and awe we're giving you on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, that'd be fair. That'd be fair.
People hate.
Yeah. So we'll have to see where it goes, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a triple threat with this internet, man. It's all right. Listen. I'm surprised I'm not the one. We've had thunder and windstorms out there all day. I'm surprised I'm not the one that's Wi-Fi is going shoddy. But
Triple H,
yeah.
Triple H is like wiling out with the surprises and the angles, and people are mad about it, but they would be mad if it was very predictable. So I don't know. People, I want it to be Bianca because I think that's a bigger shock than it being Naomi. But it makes perfect sense that it's Naomi. She got all the shine while Jade was out.
Yeah, I agree. So we had that. Then we had the tag match with Trish
PWI
Stratus.
just listed Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair as the top tag team of 2024, not Naomi and Bianca. So
really, all right. That was probably the time when, that makes sense. They were the tag champs the whole year basically until Jade got removed. So we then had the tag match. It was Trish Stratus, the hometown girl, Toronto native, teaming up with the world champion Tiffany Stratton against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. This was to me, this was like this is the only match on the card that didn't have stakes. So it was kind of like all right, hometown heroes there. Let's give Tiffany the champ the rub and we'll get the hometown thing. In my opinion, this match I thought was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was actually a pretty decent tag match. I thought it was fine, but again, it didn't really move the needle. There was no story behind it besides Trish just kind of, as we're kind of just getting to Tiffany versus Charlotte at WrestleMania. But I thought for what it was, it served its purpose. It got the crowd behind the hometown hero. It gave Tiffany the rub with Trish, a legend. Tiffany is full on babyface Tiffany Stratton now for the last couple weeks. I thought this was fine. I thought it was a pretty decent match on its own. And it was good to see Trish in there. And she did well. I thought she did pretty good. I thought this match was fine, Warren. I don't know what your opinions were on it, but I thought it was fine.
I was bored. I thought it was boring. I don't know what to say. It's kind of like I thought the women's chamber was boring.
I think JPJ said more than needed to be said. I think he said more than needed to be said about that match.
I agree.
I don't know. There's
it was fine. It was there.
Yeah. I don't think nothing. I don't think there was nothing really exciting or compelling that happened in there. Nia Jax is in my mind one of the worst wrestlers in the world, and she continues to prove me right. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I was bored. I didn't think this. I think this was the worst match of the night. Actually, there you go.
Yeah. Right.
I think I actually talked about it more here than I did on my own review.
That's fair. That's fair. Look at we accept and respect all opinions here. All right. Then we had the unsanctioned match between Sammy and KO. Poor Randy Orton. Every time he comes back, every time he comes back, he gets overshadowed by other things. Every time. But no, we had Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in an unsanctioned match.
That overshadowed KO coming back.
Yeah, just like three other things on the show. But two Canadian boys in an unsanctioned match. And this was another match that I very much enjoyed. I love both these guys. I knew it would be violent. It was violent in a different way. It wasn't like there was blood and guts everywhere throughout this match, but it was more, you could feel it. You could feel how personal it was, I feel like, between these two. But everything that these two guys do is going to be pretty good, in my opinion. I don't know why it needed to be unsanctioned with what we saw. I don't think anything that we really saw led to it having to be an unsanctioned match. I think when you make it an unsanctioned match, you should be doing. Yeah, okay. But if you make it an unsanctioned match, at least in my eyes as a wrestling fan,
you're being too nice. You're being too sweet. You're being too nice about it. This match should have been insane.
It should have been very
violent to what they've done in the past.
Yes, it should have been super duper way more violent than it was.
How do you take a drop toe hold on a barbed wire chair and not bleed? Kevin Owens is an Iron Man. He's made of steel.
Yeah, that was
no blood. Come on, we gotta have something.
Yeah.
He's got to be wearing an eye patch for weeks. You know what I'm talking about?
Let him go.
I'm gonna let Warren go because I know. I know, but I wanted to get my pot. Look,
he's got to take family photos with an eye patch.
But here's the thing: I like the match overall. I just think when you say it's an unsanctioned match, you got to give us more than what you gave us. But I thought, as a whole, these two guys had another really good match between them. You know, yes.
Did Sammy and KO go to depths that they never thought possible? They said that too, and they didn't do that. It was a great match. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was fantastic, but at the end of the day, it did not deliver on the grand scheme of what that they promised it was going to deliver.
And I think that's where the problem lies. And I think Warren is ready to chomp at the bit.
You're just about this. You're the big sweetheart.
Yeah, no, but you're both right when you say like this. There was no reason for this to be unsanctioned if this is all you're going to do. You know, like it just turns out that it's your humdrum, no DQ plunder match. It's like, all right, it's like nothing made this particularly violent. They tried to make us believe that it was violent, and there was a lot of things that didn't make sense in the match either. But let me preface this by saying that
Kevin Owens did hit Sami Zayn with Dominic Mysterio.
That is true.
What? He hit him with Dominic Mysterio?
Pluggo's struggling.
Oh, you didn't hear the part where he took the trash can and he hit Sami.
I get it. Pluggo's cracking
trash can spot. Pat McAfee goes, look at him. He's hitting Kevin Owens with that
Pat McAfee said it. That's why I had tuned him out at that point.
I was too busy drowning him out in his pro-American dialogue.
Look, I get like me. The story for me for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view was how bored I was. And I was bored by this match as well. Yeah. And I was not expecting to be bored by this match. Because of the two guys who were involved. I'm thinking Owens and Zayn, here we go. And maybe to a degree, my expectations were a little higher because I've seen a ton of Generico Steen matches, and in even their sanctioned matches that these two used to have together, it went harder than what we saw at Elimination Chamber. I just saw something that went through the motions. I saw a match that did not need to go 27 minutes. That was supposed to be an epic, but I felt like there was three finishes to this match. You know what I mean? Like at some point it was like, all right, pick a finish at this point. Jesus Christ, when is this match going to end? And what really completely took me out was how much commentary was putting over how vile and disgusting everything was happening. And I'm sitting there literally like this going, they're just doing moves. Yeah. They're doing moves that you see all the time in WWE. Michael Cole is probably standing up, screaming into his microphone, Kevin Owens, you bastard, after Kevin Owens does a power bomb on the apron, which is a hard move to take. Don't get me wrong, but let's pump the brakes. Unsanctioned match. The referee I like the referee coming out in his t-shirt, unsanctioned, so he doesn't. That was like nice touch. Yeah, and he's there. He gets taken out. Then we have other referees running in. I'm like, why? Yeah, the match is unsanctioned. If the guy who was supposed to do it can't do it, why are you sending another referee? Why are the officials running out? Why is Hurricane Helms and Petey Williams out there to try and keep them apart? if the match is unsanctioned? I'm like, well, the officials, well, we can't do anything. Why are they trying to stop the match? It's unsanctioned, you fucking morons. You know, like, stay away. Look, honestly, like,
they pay for those. They pay for the talent, though. That's an investment. That's their investment.
Well, then, you know, don't authorize unsanctioned matches. You know, it's like that. That the logic goes that way. Look, as far as a wrestling match goes, I was just like, I was waiting for something. I was waiting for the blood. I was waiting for the really vile bumps. You know, look, don't get me wrong. Sami Zayn going through the table stack, right? Wasn't it Sami? Yeah, it's Sami that went through the table stack. That I feel like that could have led to the finish, but it didn't. They went another 15 minutes after that. All right.
The Blue Thunder bomb onto the barbed wire thing, that could have been another thing that led to
that could have been another moment to end the match, you know. And I'm like, okay, but there's nothing happened, like nothing really intense happening. I think it was a lot of hype. I've seen, like I said, Generico and Steen in sanctioned matches go harder than this. Even in WWE, we've seen these guys go harder than this.
Yeah,
legitimately. I don't know. I thought it was boring. It was frustrating. I didn't care for it much, really. I'm sorry.
No,
I feel like I'm being cold water warm. But
no, you're good. You're good.
I didn't care for it.
Another thing I did like was even though it's
that's what you do. That's what you bring to this. That's what you bring to the proceeding.
And even though it was unsanctioned, so it doesn't even count. I'm glad that I felt like KO needed a victory here. He has been losing almost all the time, basically. So I'm glad that KO won, even though it doesn't count because it's unsanctioned. But I'm glad he got the win. And then we do see Randy Orton's music hit after, as KO would not stop beating down Sami. Randy's music hits. He comes out. He hits Owens with an RKO. And then the security gets in there, and Randy's just giving RKOs to everybody. So Randy's back. It seems that we're going to be going in a KO versus Randy Orton WrestleMania direction, which I'm okay with. I would have liked to have personally, I was hoping that this would have led to like Owens and Sami at Mania and like a Hell in a Cell situation or something we haven't seen between those two. I think that would have been fun. But obviously Randy Orton, that's a good opponent and a good spot for KO to have at Mania. I think Kevin Owens should win that match against Randy at Mania. Not going to say he will or not with, you know, the way WWE does things, but a nice little pop for Randy to come back and do that. And then we had the actual men's chamber match after that. Obviously, we talked about what happened at the end. But yeah, John Cena is the victory. The Drew McIntyre situation where he gets eliminated really quick again at first, kind of shocking. I thought that was kind of well done. Didn't see that one coming. I thought Drew.
That's what you get for complaining all the time.
I knew it was going to be between Cena and Punk, but I actually thought Drew was was the dark horse for me heading into it, and he was the first one out. But they did it in a way that they're clearly going to go the Priest Drew route at Mania. And I thought the moments we got in the match were good. Like I thought the CM Punk, John Cena stuff at first was good. You know, the hug, so what, whatever. But I thought the stare down in that moment was good. Them being the final two. I didn't like the hug. I liked them being the final two. I liked
not at all.
Yeah.
As a
CM Punk ain't hugging nobody. CM Punk ain't gonna hug it. Yeah, I don't like it. I didn't like the hug.
He's not supposed. Don't be hugging. Don't hug nobody. What are you doing? You're here to make money, not to make friends.
Yes, I did not like the hug. But what I did like was Seth Rollins curb stomping CM Punk's head off, which led to the end of this match. I thought that was fun, and it led to the CM Punk promo on Raw, which I actually thought was the most regular CM Punk promo we've had since maybe he's come back. Like I thought,
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Cena beats Punk, and then we talked about it after. What? You think who got fired? PLUGGO.
The guy in charge of the Elimination Chamber door. Do you think he got fired?
I mean, it's not good, dude. It's not good. He let Jade in there, who wasn't in the match. He let Seth hang out there. Like, it's not good. He didn't do a great job.
Aren't you guys annoyed by this trend of cage matches where people get in and out willy-nilly now.
Happens all the time.
So that is the absolute dirt worst thing. And this is not just an Elimination Chamber thing. Like any cage matches now, suddenly anyone gets in and out whenever the fuck they want. And the idea of a cage match is the exact opposite. You cannot let people in. You cannot let people out. And it happened. Didn't it happen last year with AJ Styles, right? AJ Styles ran into the
they promoted somebody out.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just don't do the chamber. Don't do the chamber then. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. That happens. It happens quite a lot where people get involved in those matches that are specifically built so people don't get involved. I find that to be annoying. Very odd how it happens that way.
You and me in a cage next week to keep everyone out, and then everyone jumps
because, like, you know what's going to happen on and again, I am very pro WWE with what's going on lately. I'm invested, but next week we have a big main. They're at MSG. They've set up a big Raw for MSG. The main event is Rollins and Punk in a cage, which will be a good main event. But we know, or at least I know, or I think I know, Roman Reigns is 100% showing up and probably getting involved in that cage match and costing one, if not both of them, that match. And it's like, okay, the reason you're having a cage match, Adam Pearce said, is so you two can finally settle this with nobody getting involved. And we already know somebody's going to get involved. And it's like, okay.
Frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, okay. But
it's
it is
super
what it is.
Annoying.
So that was Elimination Chamber, but mainly, the John Cena heel turn coming out of that and kind of seeing how the next 5 or 6 weeks line up and kind of we have to hear from Cena. We have to hear from Cena about his motive, why he did it. I don't know if he's going to be playing a character where we do hear, because he did the mic drop thing at the press conference after. I don't know if he's going to be this silent assassin or however they're going to do it. But I think we're all kind of really want to hear from Cena about what happened and kind of the motive and things like that. So hopefully we'll get that, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks when he's starting on Raw.
Can't see him now. You can't hear him.
Oh, yeah. And like Dustin says, they wanted people to be talking, and they very much accomplished that with what they did over the weekend. They very much accomplished that.
And a reason, because it was very good.
It was very good.
We must hammer this home. It was very good.
Yes. It was one listen, and I again, before we kind of slide over to Revolution, I did mention the Hogan thing, and obviously just the world we live in.
I appreciate GPJ doesn't want to hear me bury the men's match. That's good.
No. Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're fine. We're fine.
I'm kidding.
Pick up his shovel and do his work.
No. People automatically right away
will start digging.
They start comparing, this is, it's just the world we live in. Everything that happens in real time is the greatest thing of all time, and it's the best one ever. And like, this is definitely up there. But obviously people right out of the woodworks, they start comparing it to the Hogan turn when he joined the NWO or joined Hall and Nash and then created the NWO. I don't want to immediately do that because I think in the parallels of it, it's not even close. It's not even close to me.
It's not the same person. Look, okay.
It's just it's a different thing.
If John Cena was still a full-time pro wrestler, then we'll say, okay, hang on. Let's see how this goes, right? But he's got less than a year left, right?
Yeah.
We have an expiry date. When Hogan turned, it had huge business ramifications for WCW, completely turned the company around, plus added at least 10 years on Hogan's career.
Oh, there were people talking at that time that he was done, that the Hogan was over then.
Yep.
And then he was fighting 10 years later at WrestleMania against The Rock. He doesn't get there without the
heel turn. Yeah, never happens.
The Monday Night Wars don't happen without So in the scheme of things, that Hogan turn is still the best of all. It's the biggest.
It's still the most important heel turn in the history of
the
business.
No question.
No question.
Yeah. But with that being said, I think there's a strong argument that this is number 2. I think you can say it's number 2, number 3. Like it's very much. This is
then
a moment
then we can start having like fun arguments. We can start coming up with discussions. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
But this was a moment that we are going to see and we are going to talk about for the rest of time in pro wrestling. Was John Cena like it is that level of moment.
Absolutely.
And it deserves to be. And like we all said, it was perfectly done. It was perfectly executed. It was perfectly done. It made people that aren't even super high on WWE care about WrestleMania, care about this, and I think that's, and I think Warren is kind of the perfect example of where he didn't dig the Elimination Chamber show as a whole at all, but he was saying
that final angle, man.
That final angle, but he's saying was great. He loved it. He's in it. He's about it. He likes it. That's what, and at the end of the day, like Dustin said, that's what people are talking about.
You were going to bury that too, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really thought Warren was going to be like, I hated it. It was garbage. John Cena was my hero.
That would have been such a bad faith take. And you could have thrown me in there with the Eric Bischoffs out there. That would have been really a bad faith take.
Yeah. So that was Chamber. That was WWE, obviously on the road to WrestleMania. But we are on the road this Sunday night to AEW Revolution, which I would make an argument the last 2 calendar years, Revolution has ended up being the best pay-per-view that AEW has put on. When you look at the calendar years of AEW, this is clearly a staple pay-per-view for them. And this card, man, when you look at the matches on this card, it is lining up to be the pay-per-view of the year. Again, there are legitimately 6 matches on this card that could be match of the year contenders, in my opinion, just from looking at them on paper.
Sure.
And that is nuts. And we're going to dive into it now, man. We're going to dive into it. We mentioned
just really quickly, even before, like you said, just looking at the card on paper, it's absolutely mind-blowing the amount of what we're getting in one evening, in one sitting. It's just going to be absolutely fantastic. But what I think AEW did a really good job with is the build to the show.
I was going to say,
I am absolutely floored with how good the direction has been since January for this company. Everything on this show has a story, has been built perfectly week after week. Every one of these angles that they've been building to is all coming to a very natural head. You know what I mean? Like they're it's not like, oh, the build was too quick or it could use a little more juice, or man, they've been stretching it out. No, they're all coming to a head at this Sunday in a way that it all feels natural. It's like, yep, you can't do it. If you do 2 more, you risk bursting the bubble. If you do, if you had blown your load before, then you'd just be like, wow, okay, now we're like stretching it out, and it's not necessarily great. There is no more argument to be made that AEW doesn't do stories. Every show, every match on this card has a story, and this has been the case for weeks. But look, in regards to Revolution, I would even argue that it's been happening before that, but it's so incredibly like in your face.
Oh yeah,
for this build, and it's been really, really, really good.
It really has, and
everything has something for everyone.
I fully agree. I think from a storyline perspective, I think this is
super solid.
Yeah. I think it's one of the better built pay-per-views that they've had in a long time. Like this is not a good pay-per-view for the AEW doesn't tell stories crowd.
No,
at all.
No.
Because this one has a whole load of them. Almost every single match.
Not almost.
Show. It's everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, it's every single match.
Every single match.
Yeah.
Even the fucking pre-show.
And I was just going to say, we'll start there. Obviously, Pluggo is having a struggle tonight, but he's going to be popping in and out. Hopefully, at some point, he can.
We wish nothing but the best.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. I've had nights where my Wi-Fi said no too, so it happens. But hopefully, Pluggo will be popping in and out, and we can get him involved because obviously. But yeah. So the pre-show match, it is a trios match. It is Johnny TV and the MXM Collection going against the Conglomeration, which is Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe, and our pal Big Boom AJ. Again, this, there is even a story heading into this match on the pre-show, but I expect this match to be a fun little three-way, pop the crowd. Big Boom AJ gets, the pop, maybe even the pinfall victory, whatever, and it'll get the crowd kind of jazzed up, ready to go for what should be a hell of a night of pro wrestling. I think this will be a fun little pre-show intro to the show, and I expect Big Boom AJ and his team to win there.
Absolutely. And you know what I think they should do, just as a quick angle, because the Costco guy is supposed to be part of All In as well, right?
Yes.
At the end of the match, QT Marshall comes in and beats the shit out of him, at the very end. Nice. And continuing that little feud. Because I think because QT comes out and he has like the doom, right? That's what he does now. Yes. So he's still, so QT is still gotten to by the Costco guy.
Yes.
So he has to be involved in this. And why not just lead this into All In, and you have your nice little lower card curtain jerking little promo, little feud with the guest guy and QT, and they do that again.
Yeah.
Because it was a nice little entertaining match that they had.
Oh, I loved it. That exceeded.
Yes,
it exceeded everything. Because again, I didn't know much about these guys before they were doing that and building to that. No
one knew what the Costco guy could do.
And it exceeded my Like the crowd was super into it. It was fun. I thought getting the kid involved and the kid at the Rizzler at the table. I thought it was just perfectly done. And it was he apparently got shoot injured. Ringing the bell. Apparently.
Ringing the bell. Yeah.
Ringing the bell. Too much. But no, I
thought
much Riz. I thought when they had the one-on-one, I thought that was a very fun, exceeded my expectations type match. And it completely won me over on this guy. Like, you want to throw him on pre-shows 2 or 3 times a year? Who cares?
Perfect little pre-show spot.
Yeah.
He's not taking anyone really not taking any spots. We're not overblowing it. That's perfect stuff.
Like, is anybody going to be upset that it's not Rocky Romero? Like, and I like Rocky Romero, but like, would you rather have Big Boom AJ out there getting the pop from the crowd and doing like social media and being talked about, or do we need another guy from the conglomerate? Like, does it need to be? It just fits. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's the way to go.
It's fine.
And then we get to this main card, and goddamn, Warren, it is.
Oh wait, before we get to the main card.
Oh yes.
Just real quickly, because we forgot to mention the Elimination Chamber. Toronto's own Drake was.
Front row
was there. Front row was not shown at all on TV.
No.
Can you imagine? That's where WWE draws the line. Anyway,
Pluggo just keeps on coming on to be like, "Am I on a delay? Like, what's going? Can you see my hands? Can you see my hands?"
Maybe you should blow the budget on a new router.
1980s.
I was gonna say we gotta get it. We gotta get in touch with Spencer and try to blow the budget on a new router.
What's happening?
Yeah, it's been a while since it's been a struggle on either of our ends like that. Like, but listen.
No, but I was saying because we were about to move on to the main card, and I realized we didn't talk about Drake, right? Being on Elimination Chamber, but WWE not showing him on TV, and isn't it interesting that that's where WWE draws the line and decides to whatever, but there is apparently a rumor going around what's that?
I assume they would have to clear that to show Drake, right? They would have to like, hey, can we show you? And right,
sure, but
I think he would.
They'd have to call first, right?
Yeah.
Did they even call in the first place? Is the point?
Yeah.
But there's a rumor going around that AEW people have been pushing to try and get Kendrick Lamar.
Because they're in LA on Sunday.
Yeah, then they'd be like, wouldn't it be cool? And honestly, like, quite frankly, if they do that, that is the funniest fucking thing of all time.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
And would legitimately be a huge W for AEW if they got like the hottest guy, like the hottest recording artist in the world right now on TV. Jesus Christ.
That would be a great time. That would be a great time.
Anyway.
See, that's the stuff. Again, I know there are times where it doesn't go great, but I'm always one of the guys that I'm like, take shots at each other. Just fucking do it.
It's great.
Yeah, it adds to the shit for me. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, you got to be above it. No, they don't. It's pro wrestling.
You don't have to be.
There are certain things in life you should be above when it comes to, but like, no, they don't. They can take shots at each other. I don't give a shit. Take shots at the other wrestlers. Take shots at the company. Who cares?
I agree.
I'm all ready. Just do it. All right. All right. Let's start with, we'll build our way up this card here. We have the tag team championships on the line. The champions, the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, are going up against the Outrunners, who beat the Murder Machines last week with the help of the Hurt Syndicate, coming out and distracting. Lance Archer looked like he had that match in the bag, and he was going to win. They were dominating that match against the Outrunners. And then the Hurt Syndicate's music hit. They get distracted. The Outrunners get a victory. And you can tell from the jump that the Hurt Syndicate are not taking the Outrunners seriously. That's why they did what they did the week before. They were saying, yeah, fun story that you guys would be the number one contenders. Yeah, okay. So they're not taking the Outrunners seriously. I thought that the music video or whatever they did last night, saying from its 1987, that made me laugh.
The training montage. Let's call it what it was. It was a training montage.
Yeah, I mean, it said 1987, and it just good stuff. I very much like the Outrunners. I like the gimmick. I think this is a good spot for them. Are they going to win? Hell no. Is it even going to be that much of a struggle from the Hurt Syndicate? Probably not. Couple flurries I would expect here or there from the Outrunners to kind of get the crowd like, oh shit, all right. But that's going to be it. I think this is going to be what it is, but I think this is a good spot for the Outrunners. I was afraid they were going to jump the gun too early and have them win that multi-tag match way back when it was going for the Bucks. And I was going to be like, that would have been too soon. Like, let it play out. But now I think this is kind of a good spot for them. Give them the title match. They're not going to win. You raise their profile a little bit and you kind of keep it going because they're clearly over.
Have we had the discussion where I believe that the Outrunners should never be pushed? Have we had this discussion?
Never be pushed.
No.
You think they just stay like who they are?
Yeah.
You think they'll get more over that way?
Yeah. Just never push them. They're like, just like you. I enjoy them. I think they're fun. They're a fun act.
Of course.
But the thing with the Outrunners is that you really do risk you really do risk running into them being another Acclaimed situation.
Yes,
where they'll be hot for a very limited period of time, like and then they'll fall off, and they'll fall off hard to the degree where people will be like, please get them off my TV, and they really run that risk, but you keep them in a position where, in this position here, doing good.
I don't know. Is it better? Is it worse? Is it indifferent?
You sound a little bit more worse, like vocally, but you're at least moving in rhythm with your voice. So I think that's a plus.
Important.
I think that's a plus.
And
we're not hearing you and then seeing your mouth move like it's dubbed over, like your mouth moves 5 seconds after you. So you're looking okay. But yes, right. Warren, I'm sorry. Continue. We literally just started talking about the main card. We're talking about the Syndicate versus Outrunners tag match first. And Warren believes that the Outrunners should never be pushed. Like, just kind of stay who they are.
Yep. And
that's fair.
You win a couple of matches, but then you get to the big matches, you don't pull it off.
Yeah.
I think that's a great spot for them because they're a goofy tag team. They make people laugh. One of the things that I appreciate in this situation, you said it yourself, JPJ, is that the Hurt Syndicate doesn't take them seriously. It shouldn't. They shouldn't. Like the Hurt Syndicate are all about they're all business. You know, and they see these two clowns running around. They're like, of course, they're like poo-pooing them. You know, of course, they're goofballs. So you know, I think their longevity is the longevity of the Outrunners lies in keeping it very low key for them. Nice little mid card act, because the minute you start making them feel like they're really in the upper strata of AEW, that's when you're going to start losing fan support. I sincerely believe that, and the spot they're in, it's not a bad spot. They're on TV every fucking week. You know, like they're not in a bad spot, and it's going to continue being good for them if they keep it that way. Personally, I would have preferred to have the Murder Machines in this position, but
it feels like we're building to that the way they're doing it. Like that's
I don't know if they're building that. Like my expectations towards the Murder Machines have dropped, and I find how they've been booked, but that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah.
But I understand why they decided to go with the Outrunners, because the Outrunners, like you said, are over, and AEW right now is in a position where they cannot not put people who are not over on their shows, TV, pay-per-views. So I think the more interesting match would have been Lance Archer and Brian Cage against the Hurt Syndicate. But the one that will get the crowd into it, the one that we'll be happy to see, is the Outrunners, and they're going to root for the Outrunners. The Outrunners are coming in as the underdogs, and they're going to go out flat on their back, and that's
yeah. And we have my firmly AEW partner Drew and Scott in the chat. They think that the Hurt Syndicate should squash the Outrunners, just crush them. Again, I don't think this is going to end up being that competitive of a match, but I think because the Outrunners are so over, I do feel like they're going to get they're going to have that one moment where they get a pinfall where it's kind of close.
Here's what I think they're going to do.
And the crowd will get really excited, and then they just get wiped the floor with.
They're going to do the Hogan format to this match. They're going to do the 80s Hogan format, where they're going to come in, they're going to do the baby face start to the match, where they're going to, they're going to get the upper hand on the Hurt Business, and people are going to cheer. Then we're going to get a really big heel segment, heel control segment from the champs, and then you're going to have your Hulk up moment. You're going to have the one babyface comeback.
Yep.
But then they're going to, but as opposed to Hogan, they're going to lose anyway.
Yeah. Pluggo.
What they're going to do.
Pluggo. I want to hear from you, babe. What are you thinking about
you
this?
Want to hear from me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, we can't hear you. That's why I want to hear from you, because it's been it's been a struggle this evening. But you seem to be. I don't want to jinx it, but things seem to be. And the second I said that,
I know
I shouldn't have said it, but no. What do you think? Obviously, I assume you're thinking that the Hurt Syndicate is obviously going to win this match against the Outrunners.
I think, I like that they called their shot though, and like screwed over the Murder Machines to get the match with get the easier match, because why not? You're heels. That's what you're supposed to do, right? I like that part of it. It would be interesting if they did run through them because they picked their spot, but there is something to be said about walking a batter to get to another guy, then that guy hits a home run. So the Outrunners might have a good showing. I think it ends in a DQ. I think the the Murder Machines come out and bust this thing up.
Oh,
because I think they're pissed that they didn't get the spot.
So the Hurt Syndicate screwed them.
Right. And I think that's where you're ultimately going to go. And it's a way to keep the Outrunners protected, if you will, so they lose, but they're still lovable.
You need to protect the Outrunners.
But that's you know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say we have to protect these guys at all costs. I'm saying they didn't lose the match because it got thrown out, and you just kind of go, but they had a good run. You know what I mean?
I don't think,
like Warren said, you keep them, you keep them in the spot they're in. This way, we don't. It's not I don't know, because I don't think the Outrunners need it either.
No, I don't think Bobby Lashley is going to want to win by DQ against a couple of goofballs.
Yeah, probably. I do think that the Murder Machines is
that's
going
not
to be
a Murder Machines match, though. Maybe, but Bobby Lashley might kill him.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know, but I think the Hurt Syndicate, no problem retaining. I actually think.
All right, Warren. Mark
I actually think the Hurt Syndicate.
Pluggo said it's going to be a DQ. Warren said he doesn't think that Bobby Lashley wants that, and when it's a DQ finish, you could send me some delicious Canadian.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think the Hurt Syndicate are in the process.
Put my flag in this one.
Kind of rebuilding the tag titles a little.
Now that my internet's back, and you can hear me, and you can see my lips moving with my face at the same time. This is where I plant my flag. Because it's going to freeze, I might as well stamp my claim to this episode right now. DQ finish. Bobby Lashley wants an easy night off. Calling it.
I mean, I think he's getting one way or the other.
Yeah.
But,
true.
It is what it is. No slack. I very much do enjoy the Outrunners. Me and Drew argued about this because he's very adamant it should be a squash match, and I'm very adamant it should not be. But
it won't be a squash.
I don't think so. Again, it won't be hard though. But I'll tell you what, somebody who's in a singles match on this show, you want to talk about who I really want the Hurt Syndicate to build to. Hurt Syndicate versus Hounds of Hell is a match that I want them to build. That's all in for the tag titles. If you're telling me, let's go, let's get there. But my man, I really do want him to win this match. I know he's not gonna. But I want all good things for Brody King. I love Brody King. And he is challenging Kazuchika Okada for the AEW Continental Championship. Pluggo, I'm going to let you go first on this one, man, while you're still here and present. I'm going to let you go. Well, you're blowing it again, bro. Kazuchika Okada, Brody King, Continental Championship.
Why not, Brody?
Who you got, man? I would love it.
Why not?
I would love it so much. I would love it.
He's gonna bark at Okada. Okada's gonna call him a bitch.
I would love it.
I
would love it. I love Brody King.
Yeah, it's got to be Okada, right? I don't know. I wouldn't be upset. Like I wouldn't if they pulled the trigger here and gave Okada something else to do.
I definitely wouldn't be upset.
But what's the end game for Okada then?
It feels to me that we are heading for All In, and it's going to be Okada versus Omega, and we're going to unify those belts. That's the vibe I'm getting.
You're going to unify the international.
Because we'll talk about that match. We'll talk about that match next, and kind of. But I think we're seeing a new international champion on Sunday in Kenny Omega. I think Okada's going to retain, and I think we're building to Omega Okada to make that belt one belt, however they're going to do it. I think that's what we're getting here. That's how it feels like to me. So
a company's taking a belt away. What's that like?
I mean, yeah, I feel like you need. I mean, again,
everybody just keeps adding.
Yeah, I mean, AEW has enough. They have enough. They have a lot. They have a lot of belts. But I feel like that's where we're going, Warren. That's why I'm picking Okada. Like I said, I will be rooting for Brody King. I like both these guys. Clearly, it's Okada. But I'll be rooting heavily for Brody King because I really do enjoy that guy a lot. But this has Okada retaining. This is a pretty easy pick for me, I feel like, as well.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be any major upsets here. But this ties into what I was saying just with the Outrunners, right? It's like AEW is in a position right now that they can't they cannot book people that the audience doesn't like. Everyone likes Brody King. Mm-hmm. I do not know anyone who goes, not Brody King again. Like, who says that?
Nobody.
Like the most miserable person on earth.
Malachi Black, maybe?
Okay, well, they hit the brakes. There you go.
He said, I got to get out of here. This Brody King guy keeps talking about barking and dogs and shit. I got to go.
Barking is not very metal. But look, everyone loves Brody King. He has great reactions. And you know, the thing here is that I feel like from this point on, Brody has to win matches. Like from this point on, Brody has to win matches. And if AEW is connected to how its fan base is reacting to guys on the mid card, they have to be realizing that Brody has a groundswell of support. that whenever he has a match, people get excited for him. They're excited for the stuff that he does. He always gets great reactions. He should be in line for bigger, better things.
TNT Championship could use a real viable challenger right now.
He's more than a viable candidate. He's like, it has his name on it, if you ask me. Terrific pro wrestler. Looks like an absolute murderous killer, and yet is the sweetest guy on earth. But you don't have to know that when you watch him pro wrestle.
Yes.
Like the question that I have for this match is, which Kazuchika Okada is going to show up? Is it going to be big match Kazu, or is it going to be effort at 5 Kazu? Yeah. Because last year, one of the criticisms that a lot of people were having was that Okada's not bringing it. What is he doing? Who is this guy? Even people who are unfamiliar with his work are like, what's so special about this guy? And, some people were even questioning, does he still have it? Is he washed? Well, no, he's not washed, because he had a terrific match, an excellent match with at the World's End with
he had 2. He had one with Ricochet and one with Ospreay.
And the one with Ospreay was absolutely phenomenal. He had 2 great matches, and the one with Ospreay was extraordinary.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
So, again, we're like, well, so who's going to show up at Revolution? I hope it's big match Kazu, because that's also what he's paid for. But he's a guy who is well known to dial it up and down depending on the circumstances. So he could very well go, I'm on the mid card, Brody King. No disrespect, but you're not a top guy. We're gonna
imagine only
going
going
to 6.
Could you imagine only going at 5 against
but
Brody
also
King?
Okada at 5 is better than a lot of guys at 7.
There's that too.
You know what I mean? So like it is, but I also think if anybody is going to pull, I think the crowd could pull it out of Okada, because I feel like the crowd is going to be very
it's going to be a good crowd.
It's going to be a good crowd. LA, big arena, big event, but I feel like the crowd is going to be very pro Brody King. And I feel like
he's from LA too.
He's from LA, his hometown. I feel like that part of it could bring Okada's like, oh, all right, you guys are into you're into this. Okay, well, watch me crush your dreams. And he could turn into, all right, let's go, buddy. Let's go. I think that could happen. But either way, I do see
your dreams and take Brody King's coat with me.
Yeah, I do see Okada retaining here. And
is it warm in LA right now? Like, is it going to be hot? Because I might just challenge Brody King. Let's not go with the full camo parka. Like, I know it's a cool look when it's chilly outside, but don't be all hot and sweaty and overheating before your big match, my guy.
It was 50 degrees in LA today. Oh, it's 50 degrees.
I don't know if that's parka. I don't know if that's parka weather.
No. But all right, we said we would talk about right after the International Championship. 1-on-1. It is the champion. Pound for pound, you can make an argument one of the best wrestlers in the world, if not the best wrestler in the world currently. Konosuke Takeshita defending with Don Callis in tow against Kenny Omega. Easily could be a match of the year candidate, match of the night candidate. It should be quite good.
The floor in this match is great.
Yes.
The floor is great.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed. Takeshita beat Kenny Omega twice in the span of 7 days in 2023. He has Kenny Omega's number, you could say.
You mean Don Callis has said 100 times.
Yes.
The build to this match.
Yeah. Like Warren said, I think the absolute floor of this match is greatness. That's what I truly feel like. It should be a special match. But I think this is Kenny Omega getting a big win and a title in his return back. Obviously, he's had a couple matches, but really this is his biggest one-on-one match since returning. It's against a rival. It's for the championship. And I think Kenny Omega will be leaving Revolution as the international champion as we build towards him versus Okada. But I expect this match to be just special. Just a special match, which we've seen between these two guys before. But Warren, I mean, I know obviously you're very high on this. Talk to me about what you're actually expecting between these two guys on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this match. Kenny Omega is one of the greatest to ever do it, and he's still in complete possession of all of the tools that make him great. He's already had great matches. One great match this year, one match of the year. He's not going to dial back. And Kensuke Takeshita, to me, is one of the 10 best wrestlers in the world right now. You could even argue top 5. He's absolutely phenomenal. So these are two guys who work the same style. They have the same type of background. They have the same type of insanity when it comes to pro wrestling. I mean, this is my kind of match. This is exactly why I love watching pro wrestling. I'm very, very excited for the match. So again, my expectations are terribly high for it, but it's okay. It's okay to have terribly high expectations for this match because you have one wrestler who is, like I said, one of the greatest to ever do it. The other guy is one of the best in the world right now. Why wouldn't you expect anything less from them? And delivering less will be disappointing.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I would have confidently argued for Takeshita retaining. I'm a little less confident now because they've hammered home a lot that Takeshita has Kenny Omega's number, like you guys said, and the rumor that's going around that maybe AEW wants to, that there's been pitches at least to merge the Continental title and the Intercontinental.
Is that what they're going to call it, you think?
International Continental.
Yeah,
you put a dash between the two, and it's fine. We're not infringing on any IPs. There's a hyphen.
Yeah, technically different.
So with all of that talk, then I'm suddenly less confident at the idea of Omega losing, because Takeshita is another guy who could benefit from winning more big matches in AEW. But then again, I am also of the cohort that believes that Takeshita's time is running out in AEW. As you may know, he currently has 3 contracts with 3 different wrestling promotions, being AEW, New Japan, and DDT. And it has always been this guy's dream to wrestle in New Japan. And he did the G1 last year and was beloved by the audience, and apparently was super well appreciated by everyone backstage. He's been invited back. Not only has he been invited back, he has been given one of the more interesting titles in New Japan, which is the never openweight title. So there's a lot of signs that that take soup might be done with AEW once his time is up.
And look at that. For me, somebody who mainly watches North American wrestling, that would be very sad to me because this guy is so good. But I look at this guy and I'm like, how does New Japan not want him to be their world champion yesterday? He should be the main guy in the company for the next 2 to 3 years. Like, just make him the next Okada, the next Shinsuke. Like, he should be that guy that carries your company for the next half a decade, and then he can always make his way back to AEW or make his way back. It's not the last time I don't think we're ever going to see him in AEW, but I don't know if you, especially with him having contracts over there in multiple companies in Japan, it's like, how is New Japan not trying to be like, hey, we want to build this whole company around you for the next 3 years? So
they have him come in. Listen, they have him come in, and they say, hey, look, come do our G1. We'll put you in the finals. Hey, when you come back, we'll have you beat one of our top guys for the never openweight title. And then you can come back and beat another one of our fan favorites. That's absolutely they're rolling out the red carpet, right? It's something you see in Japan. It's, a lot of Japanese wrestling fans call it a soft jump, where a guy goes to a promotion, hangs out there a little bit, and doesn't go back to his home promotion, that's just the nature of the business in Japan. So maybe that's how it's being dealt with. And, quite frankly, I'm sure New Japan would like to stick it to AEW and be like, hey, we can poach guys from you too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So, it's legitimately been a dream for Takeshita to wrestle in New Japan. It's been a dream of his. I don't know if you heard the story of him when he was like 10 years old. He wrote a letter to the president of New Japan or whatever, saying, I want to come wrestle for you. I'm ready to train, kind of thing. I'm good to go. And of course they wrote him back and said, well, you're 10.
You're 10. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
And then he did a tryout, didn't work out.
Terrible talent evaluators over there.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Did not lock that down at 10.
Yeah, you got to lock it down.
We got kids over here in the States getting D1 college football.
I was going to say, yeah.
What's going on?
Soccer all over the world. They'll sign kids. They don't care.
True. But he did a tryout, didn't work out. That's why he ended up going to DDT, where he became a star there. And that's how he got his connection to Kenny Omega as well, because Kenny has deep roots in DDT as well.
Yeah. And I was going to say, they did a vignette last night, and they talked about him being Kenny's young boy. And I didn't know. And again, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. So I learned some new, I knew they had a history, but I didn't know he was like Kenny's young boy and they had a relationship and they were, they very much, Takeshita came up with Kenny and under his wing. I didn't know that part of it until I saw it last night. So that was a good little ad by the vignette and commentary to do that, because I personally didn't know that side of it. I knew they had a history over there in Japan, but I didn't know it was a young, kind of an under the wing. Yes, I didn't know that, which was awesome. Pluggo, I want your opinion. And I guess, Warren, you didn't say, do you have Omega? You have Omega? You said you're in the middle,
but my heart says Takeshita, but I think Kenny's going to win, and that's fine. Yeah. The audience is going to go crazy. Look, he's returning. Let's shower the guy with praise. Everyone just wants more Kenny regardless. So go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Pluggo.
Yeah.
Where were
you went, you went from up here about it to just go ahead and do it. I guess.
But I mean, because
you started at a 10, you dropped down. My only complaint with the lead up to this match was this, why, when they did this backwards.
Yeah, that was so weird. Why did Takeshita have to retain his title to then fight
just explain it to me. So now we're here. Now it's a foregone conclusion. I think Kenny wins. I thought Kenny wins as soon as they announced it. I was like, this is rolling it out for Kenny to win. But why does Takeshita have to go through the gauntlet?
I was like, why?
Whatever.
I was like, why
it's got a rule.
Fighting Orange Cassidy.
I kind of wish I could find a way to make it spin it so I could be like, this is gonna suck because you guys spoke so highly of it.
It can't.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like you said, the floor is great, and it's like, God damn it!
Like they cannot. Yeah.
This is not great for radio, guys. If we're all like, "Yep,
sometimes it just is. Sometimes it just is.
I know it's gonna be good. It's gonna be Omega, 100%. I'd put one of my kids on it.
Oh yes, Mace
whichever
Boy,
one you want.
Yeah, Mace Boy, Space Boy. Yeah, that's Spencer. He's an all right guy. That Spencer Love is an all right guy. He does okay.
He still hasn't paid Warren.
Yeah, no, that's true. Also, Warren, she's been in the chat for a little bit now, but we haven't done the thing. But you know who's in the chat?
Yes, we've retired the song.
Oh, we have. That's fair.
We've retired the song.
Okay,
but I'm still glad she's here and she's lovely. And
you sing, and you sing good.
Yeah. And then we
my brother flew in from Arizona tonight, and you're not going to sing for him.
This is a super bad reference. If anybody doesn't know, super bad. One of the great comedies of our time.
You sing and you sing good.
You sing good. You sing good, all right, and you like it.
No, King of the North. I don't want to be, but the way that he goes, Pluggo wants to be the Stephen A. Smith. I don't necessarily. It was just that they spoke so highly of it that if I also spoke highly of this match, it's like, all right.
Look at Stephen A. Smith just re-signed with ESPN today for 5 years and $100 million. So I will gladly be Stephen A. Smith if that's
good for him. Though
I got $20 million a year to talk about sports for 2 hours a day.
To have some really crazy takes.
What a time! What a time!
Wait,
all right,
tell him to stay off the weed. Yeah, stay off the weed, and then maybe I can make it big in this industry.
Yeah. All right, let's keep this puppy going. We have a singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. It is Mercedes Moné going up against Momo Watanabe. They had a match. Was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they had a match last year, which if you saw it, it was an excellent wrestling match between these two.
Good stuff. Yep.
I expect this one to be equally as excellent. Another good match in the title reign of Mercedes Moné. But again, kind of like the ones we've talked about, I feel like this is another one where I feel like the victor is pretty written out for us. Mercedes is not going to lose. Athena is coming for Mercedes, as we've seen recently with Billy Stark sightings on Dynamite and Collision and stuff. Athena and Mercedes is coming down the road. This will be, in my opinion, a retain for Mercedes. Not the match won't be easy, but an easy pick for Mercedes to retain. But again, I'm expecting this to be another really good bout between these two, because their first one, or maybe their one that we saw last year was very, very good. It was very good. Yeah, but Mercedes is winning, right? She's not losing.
How do you guys feel about the discourse around Momo picking a non-world championship? Because that was the stipulation. I'm just asking. God. I just have to ask. We all can't sit here and I got to Stephen A. Smith this shit.
Well, it's not good for radio if we don't,
right. Yeah, exactly. Come on. No, I saw that and I thought the same thing. Obviously, you want to put some prestige on the TBS championship and make it important. So why not? And it's going to be a good match.
My thing is I look at it as I get the title part of it, but I feel like Momo picked that because it's Mercedes. To me, it's more like Mercedes is on
Mercedes got 14 championships.
Yeah, she's four belts, Monet, whatever they're calling her. To me, she's one of the top 2 to 3 female, at least from a, she's just a top star in the world.
Oh,
so why would you not want to fight a top star in I get it, it's not a world title, but Mercedes and what she's doing is more important than the main. I mean, not really in this one, because Timeless Tony and Mariah has been incredible.
Oh, he almost went Stephen A. Smith and then dialed it back.
And we're going to get. I actually think that Tony and Mariah should main event this show. They're not going to, but I would be okay with them main eventing this actual whole show. But to me, Mercedes is as big a draw as Timeless, Tony Storm, or Mariah May. I look at it as Momo chose to fight Mercedes more than she chose to fight for the title. That's how I kind of view it both ways like that, because Mercedes is that's who she is,
Thought I'd ask.
No, it's a good question.
It's on the interwebs. I thought that's what we're here for. Shut that down real quick.
Well, look at Warren. That's what he does. You don't put up with no bullshit.
No, but I mean, you can. This is because look, okay, this is what these people nitpick on. Why isn't she wrestling a world title when we're getting a cool fucking match? We're getting a cool match. Who cares? Yeah. Even if it wasn't for a title, I don't care. It's Mercedes Moné, who has great matches against Joshi girls, and Momo, who is also an extremely good pro wrestler, and they already had a match before. It was great. This is going to be great too. Mm-hmm. I always have to find something to. What about this? Fuck, it doesn't matter. It's a cool match. It's a cool match. A cool match.
Yeah, I agree.
But the thing is, it's Mercedes and the Joshi girls. They're just she's tremendous every time she wrestles girls from Japan, except maybe Yuka. It was all tremendous stuff. And she's on a roll. She's had right now, I think Mercedes she's on a career run. I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. But
what kind of role is she on? Like a Kaiser role or like a brioche role? What kind of role would you say Mercedes is on?
You see
so when does your Wi-Fi crap out again?
I was gonna say he's had terrible Wi-Fi all night, and now he's here this is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. Unbelievable.
But she's really on a career run. She has been since the fall. She's been
Listen, you guys. Listen, I can find other things to do on Thursday nights if you don't want this comedic genius that I am.
You're fine. No,
this what? Excuse me. This what?
Comedic genius. He called himself. He called himself a comedic genius.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. we all have Mercedes retaining. Yeah, I think that's pretty given here. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
You still didn't answer the question.
What was the question?
What type of role is Mercedes
Oh my God.
I've never heard of a career role. Are we talking like an everything bagel roll? Is that a thing? Sourdough roll?
We're moving on.
No. Let him sink. Let him sink.
Yeah, he's trying to get out of it. He's trying to recover, so it's still mean. Yeah, no, we're not doing. We're moving on.
Recover what? I don't care.
Yeah, it was a good joke. It was a good joke.
I'll talk about it for the next 6 months.
I know you will. Trust me, I know you will. I've been working with you for 4 years. I know you will. But it was a good joke at first. Don't play it out. Don't play it out.
I'm still waiting on it to be answered. Nobody's answered it.
You know what kind of role she's on, bro. You know. Anyway, it's a Hawaiian sweet roll. That's what she's on now. Now relax. Now relax. Let's relax and let's move on. All right. Okay.
Like a King's Hawaiian, like a little.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Anyway, we have ourselves a steel cage match on Sunday night, fellas.
Yeah.
And it is what I would assume would be the climactic end of this.
How many people are getting into that steel cage?
I was going to ask. But it is a one-on-one steel cage match. It is Will Ospreay. It is Kyle Fletcher. A good feud that they've had between these two guys. I assume this will be the end of it for a little bit. But the Callis family and Don Callis are always looming, Warren. We just talked about how a little earlier how these cage matches, everybody always finds themselves a way to get into them. There are plenty of people we can assume are going to be trying to find their way into this one. Is it going to be one of those? Or are we going to get a one-on-one kind of proper end to this feud for now, I would think, between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher? And who do you think's winning it on Sunday?
It's funny because there was a time in AEW that I would be poo-pooing the suggestion, no one's going to try and get in, and never mind this nonsense. That AEW is no longer with us, unfortunately. So, it is unfortunately a possibility. I really hope they use judgment and just like let this be the cage match that it's supposed to be. Because I think this feud has been tremendous. It's been going on for a while. This is the rubber match. This is the one to finish it all off. I'm legitimately hoping that it stays just between the two, because it's Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. You don't need much artifice outside of this, Kyle has risen to the occasion since the heel turn. I think it's been going on much better for him than I would have imagined. He's leaned into it. He looks good. He's always had superstar potential, and we're seeing it more and more. He's fighting Will Ospreay, who's legitimately one of his best friends, a guy who he's trained under. It's not unlike Takeshita and Ospreay. Takeshita and Omega, excuse me. Fletcher and Ospreay have the same type of young boy relationship, even though it wasn't as, it's not the same thing as in Japan where it's much more official, but they've had that relationship as well. So, it's a tremendous feud. It's a tremendous match. It's two tremendous wrestlers who don't care about their bodies. And I'm here to watch them do perilous things for my entertainment. So, yeah.
This should be very, very good. I'm hoping this kind of gives us the violence that we are expecting. Craving and expecting out of these two. Pluggo, what do we think? Who do you think's leaving here with the victory? Do we think Will Ospreay, is going to get the victory and then continue to move up or on to different things?
Be on a roll?
Yes.
All right. So, I'm sorry, Warren. I saw that look. I think
unbelievable.
It's true.
That if it's not Kyle Fletcher winning, Mark Davis is going to be the one that screws over Kyle Fletcher and Ospreay gets the win.
They did do that thing on Dynamite last night.
Yeah, I think Mark Davis to get a little frustrated with the old Kyle Fletcher treating him like shit things. So I think if anything, Mark Davis might get involved. If they keep it one-on-one, I would want it to be Fletcher, just because I think like you make him a star. He is a star, right? But you give it like unless you're going to long-term play this out where it's like he couldn't get the one over on Ospreay and this is the one he needs. But I think right now, why not have Ospreay have a guy that he can't, oh shoot, I can't beat Fletcher here. Like I'd give it to Fletcher if it was me, but it's probably going to be Will.
It'd be a tremendous, it'd
be huge.
It'd be a tremendous decision to have Fletcher win. The problem that we have is that Will Ospreay is undoubtedly lobbying backstage to lose to Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
He's absolutely he's been texting Tony constantly, pitching every reason why Kyle Fletcher needs to win. But it might be Will. It should be Will too, because Will's been losing a bit too. Mm-hmm. Do you need to warm him up for something like, I don't know. Look, but because it connects to what I was saying earlier, where AEW has to put on TV the people who are over. They don't have many choices, right?
Yep.
So why not just give the win to the big baby face that everyone loves, which is a very good decision too.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's stop. Hard to say. Let's stop right there. So far, though, I don't think we've taken a heel.
Yes,
it's been all.
We took Hurt Syndicate.
Are they? Even they get good pops.
Yeah. Well,
they come out of the heel tunnel.
Yeah. Okada's a heel. Mercedes is a heel.
That's
true.
Fair. That's fair. Okay.
I just feel So and again, I
that's fair. I keep forgetting about that. I don't look at Mercedes as a heel. She's so sweet.
Yeah, I mean. Is she?
Like a sweet roll.
Like a sweet roll.
Like a Hawaiian sweet roll. It's crazy.
No, she's a jerk, but I don't know. I just think she's awesome. So okay.
I think they're gonna do exactly what Warren said. I think they're gonna give the good guy
I think so.
His win here, and I think Will get it because Fletcher beat him before. I know they kind of traded victories,
fine.
But Fletcher's going to be more than fine. Fletcher's going to be more than fine. But I would pick Will coming out of this one, but I would not be upset.
Give me Kyle Fletcher, baby.
Upset. I like it. All right. Now these last four matches for me, I want to talk about MJF and Hangman Adam Page because, oh boy, this is the MJF that I am glad we are seeing because I feel like this was the MJF we should have seen since the day he came back a few months ago. I understand they wanted to finish the story with Adam Cole, but to me, this opponent, Hangman Adam Page, what we've been seeing out of MJF this last month revolving around Hangman, this is the MJF that we should have seen forever. The intensity, the top guy, fighting top guys, and that's not a knock on Adam Cole, the wrestler. I just think nobody gave a shit about that story anymore, and it kind of just felt like we're doing it to finish it just to do it, so nobody was really jazzed about the MJF Adam Cole thing anymore. But this is the MJF I'm talking about. This is the MJF I'm talking about. I love that Hangman has gotten kind of the intense psycho MJF out of him. MJF is always the guy that, oh, you want to come fight me? You want to come attack me? I'm gonna play it cool. I'm gonna one up you. I'm gonna make you go through hoops to fight me and do all this stuff. And this time he's like, no, man, I want to beat your ass as bad as you want to beat my ass. And I love that. I thought everything they did last night with these guys was great. I thought everything they've kind of done with these guys since they really full forced it with these two has been great. Yep. And Hangman kind of shedding off the evilness, like figuring that out. And if you look at the parallels of this story, if this is the same story they were telling with Hangman and Swerve to an extent, where Hangman was losing his mind that the crowd liked Swerve when Swerve was doing these dastardly things. And he was like, sure. You're hating me. You're hating me. And that's MJF. So MJF is in the role of Hangman in this feud. And Hangman is playing Swerve, where MJF is like, this guy has burned down houses and done all these things, and you still love him. and you still cheer for him and you call him the main character of AEW. And when I do shit, you people fucking loathe me. And that's exactly what Hangman was bitching about when it came to Hangman and Swerve last year. And it's kind of a role reversal. And now this is kind of the catalyst to Hangman kind of continuing his way back to babyface. Like, I just think it's been tremendous. And this match is the match I'm looking forward to the most on Sunday. It really is. It's the feud I've enjoyed the most. I think that these guys are going to put on, again, we said there's 5 or 6 of them, but this, if we leave on Sunday and this is the match of the night, I don't think any of us are going to be shocked. I don't think any of us are going to be shocked. Yeah, I've loved this completely. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this greatly. I'm kind of torn of who I think is going to win, though. So, Warren, I'll let you do your thing first. Like, where's your head at with who's going to actually come out with the victory and just kind of what we're going to get here?
Everything you said was very spot on. This match is the whole build to this has been fantastic. Look at what they did. Look at what they did. They just decided to go back to 2 guys who are definitions of what AEW is, like that are right into the DNA of the company. Decide to put them in a feud and decided to put them in a feud in positions where the fans want them to be. You said it yourself, JPJ. This is the MJF I wanted. It's the MJF everyone wants. We don't want, happy-go-lucky babyface Max. We don't want, anything. This is the MJF we want. We want the real deal son of a bitch asshole. Just like we want. Just like we want charismatic, inspiring, well-shaven Hangman Adam Page coming out in pink shirts and butterflies on his jeans. Yeah, this is. They're both sliding right back into those positions, and everyone, like from the get-go, when they started teasing it, right, when they started bumping into each other, was like, holy shit! If we're going towards this, like, this is a tremendous direction, and it's such a good sign, and it means that there's someone backstage in AEW that understands the course corrections that need to be done, the situations that aren't working, and the people that these AEW fans want to see, that they want to see, and they want to see these 2 guys who are both the main characters of this company.
Yep. Not
just, we talk about Hangman, but MJF. There's the protagonist and the antagonist. It's these 2 guys. It feels, like the match feels good. It feels cozy. It feels good. It's a match you feel like you can wrap around you, like, as if, like roll around.
He was gonna crack another terrible joke.
No, I was gonna say it's like a Snuggie.
Yeah. I
wasn't even going to bring up rolls, but then Warren's over here talking about sweet rolls.
Well,
So, and the build has been phenomenal. It's been I think I agree. It's my favorite build of this, of the show. It's been spot on perfect. And, MJF showing that he can do this. He doesn't have to rely on, bad jokes and edgy comments all the time, even though it doesn't bother me as much as other people. He shows that he can always go above it and just do tremendous stuff, like really just tremendous stuff. That all connects with his character nonetheless. I'm really excited for this match. I think it's going to be great. And I hope this is what I'm thinking. I think Hangman wins, because the Hangman needs to get some wins.
Yes, okay, I agree.
But I think that MJF does something after to get his heat back, and this feud must continue.
I agree.
That's what I'm hoping for. He
tried to light him on fire last night.
He did.
Yeah, it has to continue. This feud must continue.
I can't imagine that this. Yeah, like I said, I don't know how this even goes. Like, you tried to light a dude on fire. I'm surprised to even get to the. If I'm Hangman, I'm thinking
go to the point where you actually light a guy on fire. Where does this go from here? A guy gets lit on fire. That's where it goes.
Inferno match. Let's go. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it with Jack Perry. Fucking Darby Allin had a flamethrower, and he set him ablaze.
I just mean this is like the starting off point of the feud, and it's like tried to light him on fire yesterday. Heyman's going to kick your ass before we.
Well, you see, that's the thing. It's like Max. I love it because Max is his whole thing is that he's insecure. That's his whole thing. But then you'll argue Hangman is the same thing. These are two wrestling characters who at their very core are insecure, but for different reasons, and express it in very different ways as well. Max is insecure. He cannot accept that the fans don't support him. He just and that's why he's so gotten to. That's why he lost his mind on Dynamite this week, because he's like, I can't take this anymore. He's gotten to. And when Max has gotten to, that's when he loses his mind, and that's what's tremendous.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite version of Mac MJF, because, like you said, he's not like running from a guy that literally, like, you know, just burnt a house down. He's like, all right, let's. And he should be the the heel that like he's always been, where he's like, got to go through X, Y, and Z. So I'm loving it. I think it's great. I think. Oh, man, I hate to pick a winner in this one. Like, I guess Hangman, but. I think we the fans win. I don't think it matters who wins, because like Warren said, and I think you've alluded to as well, there's gonna be another match.
Yes, this is not.
I think we're in for a good match or two more on this. So this is just the appetizer. This is the unlimited rolls at the beginning of the meal.
And I do think as this continues to go on to a 2 or 3 match kind of trilogy or whatever they do, I do think whoever wins this feud will be the number one contender after we find out who the number one contender will be on Sunday, because we have Swerve Strickland going up against Ricochet. And the winner of this match will be the number one contender to the AEW World
Philadelphia Eagles super fan, Ricochet.
Yeah, needs to get better hats. But on that note, speaking of Ricochet, now I am a gentleman who really the only time I have had Ricochet in my wrestling life, basically since he's been in NXT and WWE and this. I've been a North American wrestling television Ricochet person. Sure. That's where I've seen the most of him. And when they started to do this turn, I was very intrigued, because I was like, I've never seen Ricochet this way. And now I think Ricochet is doing easily the best work of his career. He is killing this. He is owning it. He is getting better week after week of being this character, this nerdy, you talk about insecure, another nerdy, insecure, just evil guy. And I maybe I should have known better, but I didn't think Ricochet had it in him from the Ricochet that I had seen up to this point, and he is fucking crushing it. And I say it every week.
Why would you? They didn't give him an opportunity.
It's incredible how good he is at, like, in this role. He has been outstanding. Outstanding.
In all frankness, no one thought he had it in him. Honestly, like you don't go back to Japan to look at his character work. That's not what are we talking about. No, no, he's been phenomenal. It's been I don't think there's enough thought pieces being written. But,
I think
they'll write thought pieses on whether or not Momo Watanabe should have picked the world championship or not, but they're not.
Oh, look who's dwelling on it now.
Yeah.
But not enough stuff is being put out there and talked about how great Ricochet is in. The heel turn for him has been a complete reinvention of his persona, but has given his career such a fucking boost. Like, I would even argue, like, in AEW, a couple of months in, you're like,
same old Ricochet.
Yeah, all right. And my main issue was, like, Ricochet is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's an extraordinary athlete, and for a time was one of the best wrestlers in the world. But like a lot of since hanging out in WWE and not doing much, there's a lot of guys who have come up behind him who do what he does, and sometimes a little better than what he does. So I'm like, what is Ricochet? When he was hired, I was like, what is Ricochet's value add to AEW because I understand it's Ricochet, but there's so many guys who do what he does now, and some, it's like, what does he bring more to the table? And smiling, happy to be here, Ricochet was like, this is kind of weird. It's kind of corny, but he leaned into the corniness. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it tremendous. That means he has a lot more self-awareness, I think, than a lot of us gave him credit for. Because he leaned into it, started wearing the glasses, the backwards cap. He looks like a complete sniveling geek. Mm-hmm. And he acts like one too. Like he right now, even with the end of the tag team match, he's firmly established. I can't beat Swerve Strickland without cheating.
Correct.
Which is fantastic. That takes a lot of self-awareness and a lot of self-confidence to do that kind of shit. And he's been absolutely amazing in this role. And he's tacked on years to his career with this term.
Yeah. And
he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal right now.
And
not enough people are putting it over.
Yeah. And I think I think this character.
And you know why I think people aren't putting it over enough? Because they see it's working, and a lot of people don't want to give AEW the credit that it's working. They don't want to give him the credit to say Vince got it wrong when it comes to Ricochet. They don't want to say it out loud. I'll say it out loud. WWE fucked Ricochet. They didn't know what to do with them. They didn't realize what they had in their hands. They thought they did. Oh, well, he can't talk. He can't do this. He can only do flippy-do shit. Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. Eat shit.
Yeah.
Now who's the
no, that's fair. I think that's fair. And I think that
they need 20 million.
I feel like this character and the way that he's crushing this, he's elevated himself to a world title level like if he were to win this match and down the line is a world champion in AEW, to me, with the character and the resurgence of how he's performing in this character, 100% makes sense to me now. 100% makes sense to me. And a couple months ago, just wasn't there for me. And now I'm like, this Ricochet right here as a world champion, fuck yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I don't know world champion, but champion. But he's a lot of fun.
Exactly.
He's a lot of fun.
With that being said, because of what kind of happened in that main event last night, I expect Swerve to win this match on Sunday. I think Ricochet getting the one-up on Swerve 2 times in a row by cheating, by doing, underhanded things. That in wrestling trope, that tells me that Swerve is most likely going to win this match on Sunday and become the new number one. What, do you think differently? I was going to you next. Do you think that Ricochet is going to...
I do think Ricochet wins.
Now, do you think he wins potentially? Now, again, Warren got upset when we mentioned the potential Bianca heel turn earlier. Do you think that Prince Nana could be involved?
No, but hang on. The Bianca stuff doesn't make any sense. It's just the poorest, shittiest decision. We don't know what to do, so we'll turn her heel. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry.
No, we're good. Do we?
Is it more interesting if Nana calls out Swerve to get his robe back, and if he doesn't, he's out, and Swerve just wins? Or is it more interesting if Ricochet actually wins and then Nana has a choice to make and he's like, well, I'm out. And then we get this Swerve, because Nana's whole thing was like, I need you to get back to the Swerve you used to be. That, so maybe like he has to re-find himself. I don't know. I just think that
he did last night.
Yes.
He did last night. He had the scissors at the
ready. I saw, yeah. Which, by the way, did you love that contract signing?
I was going to say, you're not a fan of contract signings. I thought that one, the way it ended, was pretty.
But I will say, I do think
y'all are breaking up all of a sudden.
Somebody's got my internet. I still think that Ricochet gets the one up for some reason. I just feel the vibe of that happening, and why not? I'm not trying to be different for the sake of being different. I just legit, I don't know. I think there's something to.
And we have our weekly,
the Nana being like, I don't know.
We have our weekly super chat from Graymaker, where he does a movie quote. Double bacon cheeseburger. It's for a cop.
Why'd you say it's for a cop? You gonna spit in that? Yeah. No, just so they make it extra good.
Yeah, just so that it's for a cop. No. Why'd you say it's for a cop?
Yeah. Does this look like spit to you? Fuck it.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Graymaker. Appreciate it.
What are you going to do with your $10 million? Buy the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ridiculous. Do we think that Prince Nana could go the way of the evil? here.
I think there's a stipulation to this match, which is for the #1 contendership for the world title, and I think Ricochet in that spot is much less interesting than Swerve, because Swerve is a top guy, and I think I actually have a theory.
I have a long-term theory about this as well.
But mine is much more short-term. If Swerve Strickland wins the #1 contendership match, then that means Jon Moxley's retaining. That's my theory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because isn't it much more interesting, the idea of a Jon Moxley Swerve Strickland match for the world title, than Jon Moxley and Ricochet, or even Adam Copeland and Ricochet? It's not as interesting. It's really not as interesting. And Jon Moxley right now, I know we're jumping around now, but Jon Moxley he doesn't have this big time world championship defense that he can hang his hat on. Mm-hmm. You know, Cope is to me is kind of whatever. It's fine. Orange Cassidy, no one really bought into that. The 4-way, who cares? But Swerve Strickland, a top guy, a recent top guy, a guy that everyone loves, is super, again, very over. Mm-hmm. Don't forget that. Very over with the crowd. And once you get them one-on-one, I think the lines are blurred as to, it's not as clear who's winning or not. If you have Mox versus Swerve, Mox versus Ricochet, you go, well, Mox retains. You know what I mean? Like and Ricochet is not considered a top guy in the company, but Swerve is. Yeah. So I'm thinking Swerve wins, because I think ultimately, if Mox does indeed retain, and I think he will if Swerve wins, it's a much more interesting main event for your next pay-per-view, which is going to be Double or Nothing, which is in May, by the way. You know,
Dynasty.
Well, I think is it Dynasty in April?
Oh no, it's Wrestle Dynasty. Excuse me.
That's
no, that's
April,
right. There's
right?
Wrestle Dynasty coming up in April. No, you're right. So it's
even
coming.
I thought the same thing too, like 2 weeks ago. So don't worry.
So it's coming up real soon. So you have to build really fast, and this is a compelling main event. A much more compelling main event.
All right, I do want to talk about. Let's talk about the women's.
There should be more thought pieces and think pieces on how amazing Ricochet is, but fuck that guy. He ain't winning shit. All right, Warren. I see how you operate.
That's the twist. That's the twist. The article.
Let's talk about
Triple H Swerve right there, baby.
I'm picking Swerve to win, but I do want to lean in more to the world title match, because I do think I want to talk about what the next couple months look like on that. So let's talk about the AEW Women's World Championship. Like I said, I don't think it will main event the show, but I feel like the story that we've gotten here with these two over the last year and a half, it's been obviously very, very well done. I thought the sit down they had last night was very good. I thought it was great. I thought Renee was also terrific in that, but I thought that was really good between the two. I loved how she just immediately spit in her face, and Tony didn't even wipe it off. She just sat there and just let it, whatever. And I love the last line when she was like, people will ask one day, whatever happened to Mariah May? And the answer will be, oh, she found out what happens when you try to kill God. And I thought that was a great line.
That whole bit, great line. The whole bit where she's just tearing her down, where it's like, you're just going to be no one. You're not going to be amount to anything
just
special.
Not even,
and your star's going to fade.
Mediocrity.
Yeah. You know,
in such a level tone, she never
like
Mariah was that lady like that. Everybody's
unstable.
Yeah, everybody has that person that can push your buttons, and Toni Storm is that for Mariah. Yeah. And she just the whole time just never broke. It was awesome.
It'll be that promo in a couple of years, in a few years. It'll be very interesting, because look, if Mariah May's career doesn't quite go well, and not that I'm hoping that it is, that au contraire, I hope she has a long and very successful career, but let's hope that this is not prophetic, is what I'm saying, because then we'll look back on this promo and we're like, oh Christ, Toni Storm had this figured all out.
Yeah.
Hopefully
genius.
Ophelia in the chat says that the Queen of the Ring premiere was tonight, and that Mariah attacked Tony on the red carpet.
Great.
That happened tonight. Great. Love
Tremendous
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
I love pro
love
wrestling.
It. You love
pro
it.
Wrestling rules.
What do we think
Pro
about
wrestling
this
rules.
match? This is a Falls Count Anywhere match according to Wikipedia. So that's okay. So this is a Falls Count
Hollywood ending match.
The Hollywood. I kind of wanted them to bring back the Hollywood backlot brawl. They should have done it just for once.
Well,
but we can, look, and we can't all win all the time. But this match is going to be terrific between these two. This is timeless Tony Storm retaining, we think, or do we? Yeah, right. And this is probably the end of this. This is the final ending for a while.
I think Mariah's going to go away for a while. Yeah.
You think Mariah kind of? Yeah, and then they bring her back like down the line. It's kind of refreshed a little bit.
And she'll do something else. And yeah, I like it when in pro wrestling you have like these generational or these, not generational. That's not the right word. These long-standing feuds, right? That you can always go back to, and that these people will never be friends. Like Hangman and Swerve. I will strangle someone whoever puts Hangman and Swerve in a tag team. I'll be like, this is something that should never, ever, ever happen. These guys always have to be at odds with each other, right?
John Cena turned heel. Anything's possible.
Oh my God, this guy. So I kind of hope that it's the same thing with Mariah and Tony on that front, where it's like they can never reconcile. It's just gone too far. And in that vein, and especially with how they were building it, and especially with the sit down promo last night, but even in the weeks building, how they're talking about killing each other and destroying each other, like physically rending each other limb from limb. My expectations for this match is violence, and anything under that is going to be disappointing. As just like when we were talking about Omega and Takeshita, and I was saying the floor here is great. The floor here is unbridled, crazy ass violence, and if we don't get it, it's going to be like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, where we're going to go, oh well, that's not the build was great, but the match sort of fell flat because it didn't live up to that expectation. And the issue is that in AEW we have seen some very violent matches. So we have a bar in AEW for violence.
Yes.
So that to me is the floor that these ladies have to live up to. I think if they do anything less, I'm just gonna go, well, okay, sure. They're promising us a big finale, unbridled destruction of the other woman's body. That's what I'm expecting then.
Is Wendy Richter going to show up?
I'm still waiting for that payoff.
That's all I want. That's all I want out of anything in life is Wendy Richter to show up.
Yeah. Put that one to bed.
Yeah.
You tell me what's put to bed. Anything is possible. I believe.
No, I said to put the Wendy Richter thing to bed. Oh my God, I'm on your.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pluggo just thinks the world's against him tonight. He's like, my Wi-Fi's been shit. Everybody's out to get me.
Man. Everything, man.
Pluggo, what do you think? You think Tony Storm's retaining here?
Yeah.
No, she definitely. You sound super excited. You sound super excited.
But I think Warren has a great point. And even if you just like kind of even trickled it down to like Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, that Street Fighter, Statlander, and Willow, like they got to exceed that by like tenfold the way they've been talking, right? Like we need Cody and Dustin from early on with all that blood in the ring. We need something crazy just to put a.
We need Hangman Swerve levels.
Hangman Swerve. That's a great. Yeah, I think you're right there. I think anything less, we would be like, oh, it was a good match, but I think ultimately Tony Storm right now keeps it, and maybe Mariah May starts to get even more unhinged and just losing her mind, which I think would be a fun thing because we saw it last night. That was great. Great.
I loved Renee in this segment. Like when Mariah was
Renee's facials the whole time. She's just like
and like Mariah's like crawling like on her legs to get closer, and she's so uncomfortable. I thought it was very well done.
Poor Renee, man. She's always in these weird spots.
I know. This leads us to the main event, which we touched about a little bit, but it is Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship or whatever's in that briefcase. Against Adam Copeland, Cope as they call it.
Hawaiian sweet rolls.
Maybe. In the world title, Now, Warren, I know you already said that you think if Swerve wins earlier in the night, you see Moxley winning. You mentioned Moxley or Cope. A lot of people are throwing a third name potentially of someone who could leave on Sunday as the world champion, and that is Christian Cage. He has the contract. He has a history with Adam Copeland, obviously. I find it kind of funny how they were. Did you notice a couple months ago when Moxley was going through like the Orange Cassidys and like that group? Christian Cage was always up in the luxury box. Sure. He was always around with the contract, all that stuff. Sure. And then randomly the last month and I know he's been dealing with the ops and other things and stuff like that, but the last month or so, we haven't really seen Christian a lot. I wonder if that's on purpose or not.
That's by design. Yes.
So a lot of people, and I might be one of them, they think that maybe and whether it's Moxley beating Cope and he does it after that, or Copeland getting the victory and he does it on Copeland, who knows? But a lot of people are thinking that there's a good chance that Christian maybe leaves Sunday as the AEW World Champion. Him and Swerve do have a past. I think that could be an easy way to get the belt on Swerve, not too terribly down the line if they wanted to do that, back on Swerve. Mm-hmm. What is your opinion about the Christian side of things? Because he does have that contract lying around.
I want them to get rid of this stupid cash-in stuff as soon as possible. So if it means Christian comes in and takes the belt away, so be it. That's my number one goal. And I hope they never do cash-ins ever again. I hope they just leave it to WWE. It's their thing. Let WWE do it and never think about it again, AEW, because I think they realized over the past few months that it's been a creative hamper for them. I think they've had directions for the world title, but they were like, oh wait, what do we do with Christian? Because people are going to be like, what about Christian and his cash in? And they're always sort of pulling at their hair. So yes, I've heard the theories. And here's another thing. There was a time in AEW that all these cockamamie scenarios that we're coming up with here, we'd be like, nah, this is AEW. They're not going to do this shit. And for real. And they wouldn't. And we'd be like, yeah, kept it straight down the line. And there you go. But AEW in 2025, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They can do, they're not as sports based as they used to be. They dabble in the sports entertainment. So, okay. It could be. So, it's just weird to think that there was a time where we'd be talking about this like, guys, come on. No, they're not going to do this. But yes, they might do this. They might do a lot of things, actually. The Christian thing makes a lot of sense. Cope wins the title, and then Christian runs in and cashes immediately in. Sure. Christian tries to cash in and it fails. That would actually be the best outcome. That's where Jay White, I think, could maybe get involved.
He was going to be the next person I asked. What do we think? Jay White.
He did say he has Jay White's back.
Yeah.
What's that? But Jay White is not going to stay babyface for long.
No,
I'm sorry to say. And I think he might actually be a guy who could steal the cash in away from Christian and sign his name on the paper and then do the thing himself.
I think that would be good. That'd be fun.
And that could be something as well. Okay. Sure. I still think the most interesting, like I said, I think the most interesting outcome is Mox retains if Swerve wins. I really think that's an AEW main event. You know what I mean? That you don't have to sell me on it. You don't have to convince me that Ricochet is a top guy. You don't have to convince me that Christian is going to have a great match. You don't have to convince me of anything.
Yeah,
it's two top guys in the company, two violent, crazy assholes that are going to go after each other in the main event at the next pay-per-view. That to me, that's an instant sell. I don't have a problem with it. That would be my preferred way to go, but there's so many moving parts going around right now that it's like, whoa, and it's kind of weighing me down. But that being said, I think that the build to this has been better.
I agree.
Than when this all started the past couple of weeks with Adam Copeland just taking out the Death Riders has been such a great move It's been a savvy move because it adds drama to this match. It puts Mox in a position of vulnerability. So now we're much more open to talk about, well, maybe Mox is going to lose, so that, you add a little unpredictability. It makes your main events instantly better. I might even, in all this mix of people hanging around, I'm going to throw in Jack Perry into this. I think Jack Perry might be a guy. Look, we got rid of a new Death Rider. We got rid of Yuta. Yuta might be on his way out. So Jack Perry might come and save the day for Mox and be his new. And they're in LA.
That's his area. That's his hometown. And they did do that backstage segment way back when with Moxley and Jack Perry, where Moxley put over Jack Perry. Yeah, I said, I always liked you, kid.
I always liked you, kid.
I always liked you, kid. Well,
and
he's got nobody.
He's got nobody
on Sunday.
He fits in this demeanor of the Death Riders. And look, I know Jack Perry is divisive amongst fans. Isn't that a nice way to put it? But one guy with whom he's not divisive with is Tony Khan. Tony Khan really likes Jack Perry. He's forgiven him for pushing CM Punk out of his company. But Tony really likes Jack Perry. So I think Mox legitimately does too. So this kind of all connects.
There's a lot that can happen. Yeah.
I'm just, I don't feel it's time for Mox to drop the title yet. It would feel like it would. I think his title reign would be perceived as a flop, and I don't think Jon Moxley wants that. And he's got enough stroke to sort of get what he wants. He needs the big title. Like I said, he needs the big title defenses that he can hang his hat on and say, "I beat this top guy. I beat this top guy." Right now, he hasn't. He's beaten the J Brones and Adam Copeland, who is, I think AEW fans really like Adam Copeland, but I don't think they see him as a top guy. Whereas Swerve, they do.
Yeah.
Hangman, they do.
Yeah. My thing in a pluggo, I want your opinion because we're talking Jack Perry. We're talking maybe Christian. We're talking Jay White. But I want to touch on what Warren just said there about Adam Copeland, by the way. That match with Wheeler Yuta last night was excellent. It was a very, very good match. I feel like you're right. I feel like AEW fans they like Copeland, but I think they don't look at Copeland as an AEW guy because he's not. And I just feel like that's where the disconnect is a little bit, at least for me personally, when it's him going for the AEW title. It's like, yeah, as a wrestler, he is a top, like he's Adam Copeland. He's one of the greats, but he doesn't feel like an AEW guy to me. The guy that takes the belt off Mox should feel like an AEW guy, and Copeland is not that guy. Not saying that, so Pluggo, where's your head at with this match?
His name is Cope.
No, I do not call him. I call him Adam.
His name is Cope.
Okay, well, they can call him all they want. I'm calling him Adam Copeland. All right.
This match
name, it's Edge.
Could be the King's Hawaiian Sweet Roll match of the night if King's Hawaiian would like to hit us up in our DMs on Twitter and start a beautiful partnership with us, because we are, and I can put a stamp on it and say, the forefront in wrestling podcasts that mention King's Hawaiian Sweet Rolls.
You're welcome.
I can guarantee you that that's not happening anywhere else. So King's Hawaiian at B2 Beards. Hit us up on all socials.
Not happening on the Mr. Warren Hayes show, I can tell you what.
That's right. So let's get that out of the way first. Let's get the business handled. Let's get us a sponsorship. I love King's Hawaiian Sweet Rolls. I will do despicable things for them. But yeah, Mox has got to have something up his sleeve, because Jay White tipped his hand last night and said, "I got Cope's back. I'm going to be there." But Copeland already took out all the Death Riders, right? So there shouldn't be anybody to have to worry about. So maybe Jay White accidentally screws Cope. I don't know. By
accidentally?
You think accidentally?
Like it gets involved by a mistake. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I think Mox wins, though. I do. I don't know if Christian cashes in. I don't know if they do that. It seems
we have to do
it, but it seems too like.
Well, if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it on Adam Copeland.
and he's got to fail, and he's got it, like whatever.
I don't mind him failing. I don't mind him
like,
failing. I think that would be fun if they did it where he failed. I think
we just have to get rid of it. We have to stop. Yeah. We have to stop this.
Yeah.
I don't, because even that, like when they did it, you're like, okay, but it still doesn't make sense. Does he have it for a year? How long does he have that thing? Is it at any time? What's going on here? Like,
it doesn't matter because it sucks.
Well, yeah, but see, that's been my thing with like we talked earlier about with the like the backwards way they got Kenny Omega into the match with Takeshita. Like, I'm okay with stuff. Like, if you're gonna try stuff, even if it sucks, as long as you like explain it to me where I can go, okay.
Yeah, just make it make sense, right?
Just give me, like, with the Kenny Omega stuff, give me a Don Callis pissed off that that Takeshita has to jump through hoops to get to a match with Omega when Omega or this, like, Christian, like, somebody needs to be like, dude, he's running out of time or something. It's just like, oh, there he is. Okay, when can he use that thing? Whenever he wants. Okay, so in 10 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it a year? Like, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. I hope he fails. I just think it's very on purpose why all of a sudden in the last 4 to 6 weeks we just haven't seen Christian around with the Death Rider stuff busy,
and that contract.
Not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they want you to think, which makes me think that whether it's a failed attempt or not, I feel like we're going to see him on Sunday.
He's on a father-son bonding trip with Nick Wade.
He's been out of sight, out of mind.
They're enjoying Hawaiian sweet rolls on a boat doing some fishing.
Right. See, Warren, the problem is I'm going to have to deal with this shit for weeks now. Like, not just tonight. This sweet roll thing isn't going to end tonight.
I'm sorry.
That's what you think.
He's going to keep this going for weeks and weeks.
You don't have to deal with anything.
Yes, I do.
You don't have to.
Oh, I do.
Everyone has a choice.
We're gonna be here in a couple of weeks for our 200th episode, and he's gonna be talking about Hawaiian fucking sweet rolls because I cracked a joke.
I'm sorry that you want to have the most serious podcast of all time.
No, not true.
Let's break down the breast holds in every match because that's riveting. But I'm trying to get us a Hawaiian sweet rolls deal, and I'm the bad guy.
If you can get us money, you get us money, babe. You get us money.
There you go.
Well, now I have it on record that you're not pro the joke. So
I'm the one that said it. I'm the one.
The fine folks at King's Hawaiian are just going to be like,
you know how many of those fine folks are ever going to see this? 0. That's how many of the fine folks at King's Hawaiian.
You just wait till I tweet at them.
Well, yeah, you probably will.
I'll make it happen.
Either way, I do think this main event has a lot of question marks, and I do think that there is going to be a lot of hullabaloo at the end of it, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But we went through the card. It's looking like it's going to be a top show. The wrestling on this show should be exquisite. It should be very, very good. I'm very much looking forward to it.
I will not be as bored as watching Elimination Chamber at Toronto. That's for sure.
I would imagine. I would imagine that this is more your style.
Are you saying the Elimination Chamber was just standard plain white bread?
Yes, absolutely. and a little stale on top of that. You know, it's not quite stale, but it has just that slight crunch to it.
Like you have the crust, and then that next like half an inch is.
You're like, if I don't eat this in the next few days, it's
gone. It's gone. We got a day and a half of this left. We better make some egg sandwiches.
You got to make some egg. I can toast it. It'll be fine.
It will still be okay with some toast and peanut butter or something nice and good.
It's that level. Yes,
but we can't have a deli sandwich on it because it's just gonna.
Oh God, no!
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Nope.
Yep, I know where you're at. You know what kind of bread never does that? King's Hawaiian sweet rolls. Anyway.
There's the pitch.
There it is. That's how you do it. You send them that clip, baby. Send them that clip. They'll be coming with contracts galore. You want to talk about contracts? That's what they'll be coming with. Anyway. On that note, we got to get the hell out of here. We almost went 3 hours tonight for crying out loud.
Awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a great time. Warren, thank you so much for joining. It was
long
here overdue.
For like 14 minutes.
No, listen, this whole last hour we were pleased.
I know, I just meant the internet was jacked.
Yeah. But Warren, as always, thank you for joining. It was long over. I feel like we say that all the time you're on here, but it was long overdue again. But we had a lot of stuff to talk about. Some good stuff, some boring stuff, bread. Just went through it all. Tonight. But thank you for joining us. Let the people know where they can find you. You are streaming a lot more often nowadays, which I very much enjoy. So let the people know what your schedule is like, where they can find you, and all that fun stuff.
Well, first of all, thank you both gentlemen for having me on. It was my pleasure to join you. I appreciate it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is, in my top 3 favorite spots to drop in on the internet, on the podcasting nuttiness in pro wrestling. I love you guys. It's always family coming here. It's always a great time. Thank you so much. And as for myself, well, I do the podcast, the Mr. Warren Hayes Show, released every Wednesday on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes or on your favorite podcast application. I also do an AEW Dynamite. I'm doing plugs for the first time. AEW Dynamite review. AEW Dynamite review every Thursday. Again on all the same platforms. And I also I'm also very active on YouTube, like PLUGGO, JPJ, Christ said, whatever this guy, the other guy, whoever. I'm very active on YouTube. I stream 3 nights a week, most weeks. So there's a lot of stuff that happens there. It's always a good time. It's always a lot of fun. I get bullied by my chat. It's tremendous. And I've also started doing more videos as well for the YouTube channel. This week I am releasing this weekend, I should say, I'm releasing my new series that I'm doing, which is the best matches of the previous month. So I already did January. Cool. Now I'm doing the best matches for February. So I walk through my favorites, the best matches, not just my favorites. I have science behind this list. So it's scientifically backed that these are the best matches that you can watch. So if you want some recommendations, some ideas, come and join me. By the way, all put together by Mike from Indeed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Who's helping me out on the editing, and he's tremendous. He does a great job.
Yeah, he's fantastic. We love
So youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes on your favorite podcast applications. It's all tremendous. Thank you guys again for having me.
Absolutely. PLUGGO. Let the people know where they can find you and they can find us, my man.
You can find me at my local grocery store picking out some fine sweet Hawaiian rolls. God damn it. See, real quick before we get out of here, you do this thing where you go, I got to deal with this for the next weeks. I've got to figure out how to get to the next thing so I can get this out of my head. I'm going to have to deal with this. Mentally, I'm the victim here. But you can find me at PLUGGO on all social media platforms. Search PLUGGO. You'll see this goofy looking face. Show page every Thursday night, B2B. JPJ said episode 200 is coming up in a couple weeks, so you might want to stay tuned to socials. You never know what's going to happen there. I can't believe we've made it to 200, but it's at B2Beards on all social media platforms. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. with Rainmaker Wrestling Podcast for 4 Exposure. We'll be talking about some independent wrestling right here on Love Wrestling. And if I can get my head out of my ass, I will start writing again this weekend and give you my top 5. I think last weekend I just couldn't see. I had a headache all weekend. I mean, we could classes. Yeah. So I think I'm back in the mix. So I will write something. It'll be up on lovewrestling.ca this weekend.
Love it. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms. As PLUGGO said, every Thursday night, 8 p.m., you can find us both right here on the flagship show of Love Wrestling, Between Two Beards. You can find me Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. with Drew Nicholas for Firmly Love Wrestling. We talk WWE on Tuesdays and AEW on Thursdays. You can find me on Monday nights over on our pals, bodyslam.net. I do the Raw review show on there after Monday Night Raw every Monday. And on Mondays and Tuesdays for Raw and NXT, we do watch-alongs on my channel as well. I usually have a couple pals. We sit there, we just chill out. Not so much reaction watch-alongs, but we're more just laid back, hanging out, watching some wrestling, having a good time. So that's where you can find me. That's where you can find us. As you can see below PLUGGO here, Friday night, March 7th, Love Pro Wrestling making its way to Calgary, Alberta, Canada for the first time for press start. We have a hell of a card there, so check that out when everything comes out with the videos and all the cool stuff that's going on there. A big weekend for us on
It'll be live on IWTV.
And there you go. It'll be live on IWTV like most of our shows are at the end of the month. This one's at the beginning of the month, but it's a special show because we are on the move on the road to Calgary, Alberta this week. It should be a lot of fun. So check that out. Give all of us a follow. Warren, again, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys were great tonight, per usual. And like every week, y'all know what to do.
And thank our future sponsor, King's Hawaiian, for all they've done for us.
Enough. Say hi to Sue. We love y'all. We'll see you soon. Peace out.
Hey there, PLUGGO and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves or I'm gonna cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer gonna get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being